last decade, the Oklahoma Sooners were searching for answers, trying to rekindle their winning legacy. Enter Bob Stoops. He's brought back the luster to a program once nurtured by legendary head coaches Bud Wilkinson, Chuck Fairbanks, and Barry Switzer. Today ranked 17th in the land, the Sooners have shown signs of dominance. Quarterback Josh Heupel setting records by air, and freshman sensation Ronaldo Works dancing his way to pay dirt. Another national championship may be on the horizon as the undefeated Sooners continue to raise eyebrows in the Big 12 South. Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler present Big 12 football today from Memorial Stadium and Owen Field in Norman, Oklahoma. It's the 17th ranked Sooners taking on the Rice Owls out of the Western Athletic Conference. And good afternoon, everybody. Along with Dave Lapham, I'm Drew Goodman. The last time these two teams met, the year was 1979. Oklahoma was running it up and down the field. Rice was throwing it all over the lot. Well, you'll see the same thing today, except the roles have reversed.
And the reason Oklahoma's throwing the football so well, Josh Heupel, and he's so great because of the 3 Ps. His preparation during the week, his presence in the huddle, his poise at the line of scrimmage and in the pocket. Savage, this guy can beat you at man-to-man with his quick feet. He also has instincts to find the soft spot in the zones. Very talented receiver. Now Rice, they're going to run the option. They're the team running the football. They're going to try to stretch Oklahoma's defense horizontally, but Evans has not seen the kind of speed that he's going to see out of Oklahoma. He's going to have to be smart. Does he keep it, or does he pitch to Sadler on the edge through with those jackhammer feet that he's got?
I think Oklahoma fans may get nostalgic before the afternoon's over. Rice runs the option out of the wishbone. Nobody knows the wishbone better than Oklahoma fans. Well, this guy could be busy today. The leading tackler for Rice, Travis Ortega. It's Andre Wolfick, a two-way go for the Sooners. Come on back to Norman with us. Football is brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, this is the taste. By Bank of America, the official bank of the Big 12 Conference. By Sonic, America's drive-in. By Southwestern Bell, the official telecommunications company of the Big 12. And by your local BMW centers, the ultimate driving machine. Campus shot, University of Oklahoma in Norman. Time to check in with the third member of our crew, Jim Knox. Jim?
All right, thanks, Drew. Capacity House on hand. Also to honor the 1985 Oklahoma Sooner National Championship team. Some familiar faces on hand. Barry Switzer, former head coach. This is Brian Bosworth right here, getting ready to greet the present Oklahoma Sooners right down here on the field. Before we get to that, got to tell you about the Southwestern Bell. Big 12 Player of the Week. It is Sage Rosenfeld from Iowa State. This past week, Sage Rosenfeld, the Cyclone quarterback, ran for a couple touchdowns, also tossed for 228 yards. Sage Rosenfeld, your Southwestern Bell Big 12 Player of the Week. But up next, the Oklahoma Sooners are walking in. They're about to take the field because it's the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Game of the Week. Oklahoma against Rice. The kickoff is coming up.
Bank of America and the Big 12 Conference have teamed up to recognize 36 student-athletes with the Bank of America Community Champion Award, which embodies the ideals of compassion, volunteerism, and commitment. This week's winner is Moran Norris of Kansas football. Bank of America is proud to donate $1,000 to the University of Kansas General Scholarship Fund.
11th consecutive sellout at Owen Field in Norman, Oklahoma. The 17th ranked Sooners 2-0. Rice comes in 1 up and 2 down. Drew Goodman, Dave Lapham upstairs. Jim Knox on the field. A crowd in excess of 74,000. 11th consecutive sellout here at Owen Field getting ready. And we talked so much in the open about Rice and running the option and Oklahoma throwing it all over the place, but you do have to have some balance.
True, exactly. And in my opinion, if Rice does not throw the football for more than 100 yards today, they're going to have a tough tough time competing with Oklahoma. On the flip side of it, if Oklahoma rushes the football for 150 yards today or more, I think they might dominate this football game because of their ability to stretch the football field both vertically and horizontally.
Well, there's two guys who know the wishbone, Dave. Kenny Hatfield and Barry Switzer, good friends. And we talked to Kenny Hatfield yesterday about the wishbone, and he had this to say in coming into Norman.
Well, the first thing we're going to do, we're going to just line up in the wishbone the first play and call timeout. And we're not even going to go back to the huddle. We're just going to use our minute and a half so everybody in the stands can kind of be nostalgic and see and remember the good times here when they were in the wishbone. And so maybe then everybody will cheer for us from then on. We run a good wishbone play. Maybe they'll cheer for us. Oh, I remember that one too when you used to do it here for our team.
That's great. That was hilarious. And Kenny Hatfield probably onto something because some of these Oklahoma fans might get confused for a moment.
Well, I'll tell you, the last time Oklahoma won the national championship, they ran the wishbone. The last time Texas won the national championship, they ran the wishbone. Last time Colorado tied for the national championship, they ran the eye bone. So there's something to be said for it. And Barry Switzer, and there's Coach Stoops, of course, he's saying we are running the wishbone, only it's down the football field in front of us, throwing it instead of pitching it behind us. So we just changed the direction a little bit.
Tim Duncan will kick off for Oklahoma. And deep for Rice is Adrian Sadler. And he's not going to get an opportunity. It goes through the end zone. That was a hammer job by Duncan. So Rice, who deferred. Oklahoma won the toss, I should say, and deferred. So Rice starts with the football. And at quarterback for Rice is Corey Evans. He got a little dinged up last week in their loss to Tulsa. Suffered a mild concussion, didn't practice the first part of the week, but that is not good. 23% throwing the football. The offensive line needs to play well. Rod Bevan is the best of that group up front. And here are the skill guys. Jamie Tyler has come on. He's battled some hamstring injuries, but he's averaging better than 8 yards a carry. And he touches it at fullback. And they're starting Ben Wolf today at quarterback. We were told we'd see him some. He gets the start, and he gets tackled on the option after a couple of yards by Roy Williams, the strong safety. Wolf is the better thrower of the two.
So that tells me something, Drew. I think Rice may put it up a little bit early.
Could be. Defensively for Oklahoma, here's how they'll line up. Corey Callens making his 33rd career start at defensive end. The linebackers are very good. Stephen is steady, Marshall a star in the middle, and Rocky Kalmus very instinctive, the other linebacker. Two good safeties in J.T. Thatcher and Roy Williams. And down on the field right now is J.T. Thatcher.
And what a blow that would be, because not only great in the secondary, but an unbelievable punt returner. He set a school record with 160 punt return yards in their last battle against Arkansas State.
He's hobbling a little bit, but he's up and jogging off the field. So hopefully, hopefully Thatcher's fine.
It's like he keeps grabbing his back, his lower back or in his hip area. So he took a shot in that vicinity, I guess. Looks like he's shaking it off.
Wolf getting the start, 6 foot, 195 pounds, a senior from Center, Texas.
Boy, Rice kept that a secret, didn't they? Whew.
No, they didn't let us know.
No, they didn't.
They give it to the fullback, and Tyler will get 2 or 3 more. Holding on inside Ryan Fisher.
And, of course, that's the first area that Rice wants to try to generate some yards, is right up the gut with the fullback in the option. If the fullback can crease the defense, then Oklahoma has got some problems. So Oklahoma, first and foremost, wants to shut down the straight line fullback and then make Rice take it to the edges. The defensive tackles are the key there, shrinking it.
They break the bone. 3 receivers to the near side on 3rd and 4. Wolf looking backside. Pressure coming, and he's going to be dropped. Derek Strait came off the edge. He's a cornerback and sacks Wolf, though he had nowhere to go with the football.
And you can already see Oklahoma's defensive speed is a concern for Rice. I mean, Wolf, I think he might have realized somebody might have been coming from the backside, but not as quickly as Strait was coming. Strait had that straight line to the quarterback. I mean, he was unimpeded. He just lit him up.
Well, good news for Oklahoma. J.T. Thatcher, who you mentioned went the distance last week on a punt return, is back at his own 43. He had a great week against Arkansas State. 160 yards in returns, an all-time Oklahoma record. Travis Hale's the punter. Good snap, and Oklahoma will set up a return, and this one is returnable. Thatcher from the 45. Oh, wow. Erased right there. Flying down for Rice, Patrick Dendy, a freshman defensive back. Here's the Southwestern Bell starters for Oklahoma. Josh Heupel, the record-setting quarterback, 21 school or Big 12 records already. He's played just over a season. Oklahoma's offensive line, 3 new starters. Bubba Burcham is off to a nice start at center. And the guys will handle the football primarily. Quentin Griffin, diminutive, but he's fun to watch. And Trent Smith, a very good tight end.
No huddle right from the sideline to the line of scrimmage.
Rice brings 5. Heupel throwing. And it is complete immediately. A pickup of 6 or 7 yards. Antoine Savage tackled by Rashard Pittman. And here's Rice defensively. They've been pretty good against the run thus far through 3 football games. They like this group quite a bit. Larry Brown is active, so is B.J. Ferguson. Jake Jackson has a couple of sacks. And at the linebacker level, Joe Bob Thompson in the middle. There's Ortega. We'll check the secondary in a moment for you. 2nd down and 5.
Quick tempo.
Heupel has a rocket screen set up. And he'll have a 1st down to the 39-yard line. Catching the football is Curtis Fagan.
The key on this particular play, Josh Norman, wide receiver, tremendous block as he came from the outside in. You'll see, watch Josh Norman coming in out of screen here. Here he comes, Norman right there. Pancake block, giving his compatriots some yards. He took Dawson right down to the turf. Excellent block on the perimeter.
Let me correct something. That was 17, not 12. It was Andre Wolfuk with the catch. He got the end zone a couple of times last week. Here's Griffin out of the shotgun and a minimal gain. Good job by Rice shutting that down. The safeties for Rice, Jason Hebert and Dan Dawson. The corners, Kenny Smith and Josh McMillan. The strength of their defense, Dave, really up the middle. Hebert's a good safety. Dawson, very, very good. He's a 3-year starter. And Travis Ortega, we talked about. There's Dawson, number 30.
Coming back from injury. Had some leg injuries last year that cost him, but he's back and making plays.
Yeah, they're physical safeties. 2nd down and 8, Oklahoma from the 38 of Rice. With a blitz coming, Heupel down the football field. It is complete to Savage. He readjusted and made the catch inside the 10-yard line. 1st and goal at the 6 for Oklahoma.
Well, Heupel did a great job of getting rid of the football in the face of the blitz. That's one thing that Heupel will do, is take a hit. And Savage on Smith is a big mismatch in terms of size. Smith just does not have the height at 5'7" to compete, and Savage took advantage of that. It was basically just take advantage of that mismatch in the height. Heupel gets the ball airborne. A subtle little push-off by Savage, and Smith could not readjust himself. Nice throw, nice catch of the football, like a long fade.
You don't see many teams on 1st and goal at the 6 operate out of the shotgun, but that's Oklahoma. Heupel to Trent Smith, and he is dropped immediately at about the 2.5 yard line, covered up by Travis Ortega.
Heupel is so strong in the huddle and at the line of scrimmage, and it's because of his attention to detail and his preparation during the course of the week. The coaching staff said the questions he asks are phenomenal, and he wants answers. He leaves no stone unturned. This kid is as ready to play on game day as any quarterback in the country mentally.
And he's ready to play on Monday afternoon when they jog out to run a few wind sprints.
He's a bright one now.
They give it to Griffin, and he'll walk in the end zone. Touchdown, Oklahoma.
Well, Griffin only ran the ball twice in that entire series, I believe. And one of them there was the finalization of the drive for a touchdown. Oklahoma looking very, very solid and sound in their first drive. They had a short field to work with. They had great field position due to their defense 1, 2, 3 and out against Rice, and they got good field position for the offense, and they took advantage.
So an impressive opening drive for the Oklahoma Sooners. And Tim Duncan, the left-footed kicker, pops it through. And it is 7-0 Sooners with 10:44 to go in the opening quarter from Norman.
The Sooners, through 2 football games, have averaged 50 points an outing. Not bad, and they're on the board early, 7-0. In the first quarter, Quentin Griffin takes the honors as he plows it in from a couple of yards away. His first touchdown of the year, the sophomore from Nimitz High School in Houston. A Buick scoring drive, 6 plays, 54 yards. And last week against Arkansas State, Oklahoma worked on a short field all afternoon.
And that's Rice does not want to give Oklahoma less than half the field to negotiate, and they almost did on Oklahoma's first offensive possession today.
Adrian Sadler will retreat. I mean, this thing almost landed in the crowd again. And there's not much of a breeze at his back, so a strong leg.
Well, here's what Rice wants to get done today. Their musts or keys in this afternoon's football game. Wolf obviously is going to have to perform very well for them, but they want to control the clock. They want to shorten the game and keep Oklahoma's explosive offense off the football field. No short fields. They don't want to give Oklahoma less than half the field to negotiate, and very little margin for error for Rice. Very little margin for error. They almost have to play the perfect game. No turnovers, no silly penalties, none of that.
It remains Ben Wolf at quarterback, and on the corner, he gets the pitch, and White will get about 5 yards. Sean White, a sophomore from Freeport, Texas, tackled by Roger Steffen.
Oklahoma on their first drive, they finalized nothing fancy, just double team at the nose guard position, lead block, and finish. Luttrell with a nice lead block on the linebacker. Center left guard come off the football well and control Rice at the line of scrimmage. Griffin well into the end zone before he's contacted.
Now they operate out of the eye. This thing's really strung out. Wolf, late pitch, and he'll get a first down. Sadler catching the football and moves it out to the 34-yard line. It almost looked like Wolf could turn it upfield, Dave.
Well, that's called feathering the quarterback in the Oklahoma vernacular a little bit. And they string the quarterback out. Sometimes they'll feather him. Sometimes they'll go right after him and make a quick pitch decision and try to intimidate him a little bit with the quick contact. But he held onto that football till the last minute and really stretching Oklahoma's defense horizontally. That's what the option does to you. Just stretches you out and takes away some of your aggressiveness.
Yeah, they'll change it up some, stab the quarterback early. And first down, not much doing for Sean White. Rice is a team that's always pretty salty. If you're thinking they may be intimidated coming in here playing in front of close to 75,000 people against tradition-rich Oklahoma, think again. They were in Ann Arbor a couple of weeks ago playing Michigan at the Big House in front of close to 110,000 folks. And each year, they've always played a tough non-conference schedule.
And Coach Hatfield's got a very, very experienced staff with him. You know, Drew, I mean, he's got guys that have been there a long time. Any adjustments Oklahoma makes defensively, he's seen before to the wishbone.
Reverse. Sadler's got great speed. And he'll get it out to the 49-yard line. Tackled by Derek Strait, number 2. Rocky Kelmus also around the football, but they move the chains again for Rice, and they're keeping a little bit off balance on this drive, running the football.
Well, watch. Here comes Sadler. He's in a little bit of it's misdirection. And what you're trying to do with this, the flow goes one way, Sadler comes the other. Use Oklahoma's speed and aggressiveness against them. Make them over-pursue, counter-action against them. Have Oklahoma flow and go against that flow. Executed very well. Sadler converted cornerback. He's got some wheels.
Runs 4-3 in the 40. On first down, Tyler, oh man, did he take a lick after a couple of yard gain. Torrance Marshall was in there. Fisher around the football. Let's check in with Jim Knox. Jim?
All right, thanks, Drew. Just got through talking to Alan Eckert, the Rice trainer. He said Corey Evans, clean bill of health to play this week. Right now, Wolf is just getting the start.
Well, Evans had that concussion, Knoxy, last week, and we were wondering maybe if he's got some headaches, but I guess not. Thanks for clearing that up. His head's clear. I guess they just feel Wolf gives him a better run-pass option.
Wolf's got a man, first down, 35-yard line, hauled in by Gilbert Okoronkwo, the junior from New Orleans.
And that's why they like Wolf today. Because, in my opinion, Rice has got to throw the football for at least 100 yards today to stay in this game. They have to balance their running attack up a little bit. This is nothing but a little dig route, and executed well. It was a zone in the corner, let him go. No safety in the area. There's a little mix-up in the zone coverage.
He's their leading receiver. He now has 5 catches in 3+ ball games. Gives you an idea how much Rice throws the football. Not much. Speaking of not much on that gain. Rocky Kalmus and company stops Jamie Tyler at the line of scrimmage. It'll set up 2nd and 10 from the Oklahoma 35-yard line.
Coach Hatfield giving Wolf some instructions there on the sideline, and he's got to like this drive for more than one reason. He's picking up yards, but in so doing, he's melting clock. And that's something that Rice wants to do today, big time. Shorten the game. We've already seen the explosive nature of the Oklahoma offense. The best defense is to keep that offense on the sideline by your offense controlling the clock.
But the key, of course, is Rice has to score points. Wolf, it's strung out pretty good. He'll lunge ahead to about the 31-yard line. Again, Kalmus and also Corey Heineke. Roy Williams also there, the strong safety. They call Roy Williams and Rocky Kalmus the foundation of that defense. Roy Williams only a sophomore. Everywhere you look for the Sooners, a lot of freshmen and sophomores playing.
And that's the KG veteran. He's only a sophomore, but he's the most experienced guy that they have in that secondary, and that's a big statement. You know, Oklahoma's always had athletes in terms of guys. When they get off the bus, you look at them, you look at their body type, you say, hey, now these guys have some gift talent physically.
Even during the lean years, Wolf on 3rd down. Ooh. And he takes a blow.
Man,
Michael Thompson, 195-pound cornerback, throwing his weight around like a linebacker. It'll be 4th down. And this guy remembers sticks like that, the Boz.
It's a mini Boz compared to the Boz that played at Oklahoma, but here's the life of a quarterback in option football. Oklahoma very, very disciplined, taking the pitch away, and Thompson says, you're going to hold the football, Wolf? I'm going to be a werewolf of sorts and put the big hit on you. And I'll tell you what, they're going to find out where Wolf is, and they're going to hit him regularly. So Wolf's in for a day of contact, I believe.
You know, Dave, an interesting decision right now for Ken Hatfield. Derek Crabtree, his kicker, is very reliable inside about 40, 42 yards. Outside of that, much less so.
4 down territory, I think, Drew. 4 down territory.
4th and 3. They're going to talk about it. Timeout Rice. We're back to Norman in a moment. Corey Evans scheduled to start. He started a week ago. Not getting the start today at quarterback. He's a junior from Richardson, Texas. He has great speed. But they're going right now with Ben Wolf, I think, quarterback. And they're faced with a 4th and 3, Dave.
Drew, I think one of the reasons that Evans isn't starting, as we talked about in the open, 23% completion percentage. That's not going to get it done against Oklahoma. Big 4 down territory right here. Big decision.
They need the 26-yard line. Wolf complete. Wow. This could go to the end zone. Touchdown, Matt Weber.
I'll tell you, there was a gamble, and it blew up right in the face of Oklahoma. I mean, the secondary gambled big time. That's Michael Thompson. He rolled the dice, and it came up snake eyes. He wasn't close to making the play, and Weber took it to the house, and there's a penalty flag on the field.
First catch of the year for the junior from Commerce, Texas. Little slant. Only get the first down. He walks into the end zone. They're an extra point from tying this football game.
Too much celebrating after the touchdown. Rice overly exuberant. I hate that. I absolutely hate that rule. I think that rule should be taken away. Rice, a decided underdog. They make a big play, score a touchdown. Nothing wrong with being happy about it. I mean, in my opinion, let's legislate something else by rule. But the gamble by Thompson was too much of a gamble.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. It is, after all, a game played by 18, 19, 20-year-olds. Game of great emotion, and I didn't see anything excessive there. And here comes another flag.
Oh, had 12 men on the field, illegal substitute. Rice was running a lineman off the field late.
I'll tell you what, before long they're going to need Tom Dempsey to kick this thing.
I tell you, they're going to be. You already talked about the lack of range. 12 guys in the huddle. The lineman running off the field late. Illegal participation is going to cost him 5 more. You mentioned the lack of range out of Crabtree. They're starting to get there.
This is a 40-yard extra point.
This is the outer perimeter of his range, so he's going to have to hit one of his better efforts to convert this extra point.
And you know what? He's kicking into a breeze.
And it's wide.
You know what? It's not going to get there.
Nope.
It was wide and short. And it's 7-6 Oklahoma. So the penalties cost, in all probability, cost Rice a point. Seven to 6 Oklahoma with 5:59 to go in the first quarter. Drew Goodman, Dave Lapham, Jim Knox. Glad you're with us this afternoon from Norman. Scoring drive for Rice, 10 plays, 80 yards. Boy, any coach in the country will take that, and they eat up 4:39 on the clock.
That's perfect. I mean, it's ball control, multiple play drive. Wolf finalizes. He had a nice drive.
Savage and Mackey are back deep. Brandon Skeen will kick it off for the Owls. And it comes to one of the upbacks. To midfield is Brandon Babb, a linebacker. That might be the only time in his career he gets to touch the football.
Well, here you see it's a quick decision by Wolf to get the football away. He gets it away accurately to Weber. The problem is that watch the gamble Thompson makes. I mean, bad angle and to leave his feet. That just was a poor decision. Didn't have the inside help that he thought he would have, and Weber took advantage on 4th down. And that's a big 4th down conversion. Never mind moving the chains, but when Thompson hit the turf, it was taken to the house by Weber.
Dave, again, a short field for Oklahoma.
Yep.
And Heupel in the offense right to the line of scrimmage from midfield.
Rice didn't want to give up this half a field like this.
Heupel complete. Good throw to Curtis Fagan. And the sophomore hauls it in. They move the chains in advance of 17. Dan Dawson knocked him out of bounds. Here's our Bushnell players to watch. Travis Ortega and Andre Wolfik.
You know, we've already seen how Heupel utilizes all his receivers. Woolfolk will be one, but he threw to 11 different receivers last week. Last season, Drew, 30 touchdown passes, and for his career, 35 touchdown passes to 17 different receivers. I mean, you talk about spreading the wealth. That's unbelievable.
Which means if you're the 4th or 5th option, you run your route hard. You don't still get it. Ball comes out late. Damian Mackey is brought down before the fumble. A pickup of 7 to the 27-yard line.
Oklahoma does a nice job of running little receiver screens, and watch the blocking that they do for each other. In this case, tight end comes out and picks off the first defender in the area. Luttrell comes out and makes a nice block on the edge as well. Oklahoma does a fantastic job of incorporating their wideouts in the little alley screens, and they do it out of different looks and different formations.
Griffin and Luttrell in the backfield. They run a counter, and Griffin sneaks through before he's slammed to the turf by Jason Hebert. And he's going to be very close to a 1st down for Oklahoma. The only amazing thing for me, Bob Stoops comes in. He brings in Mike Leach, who's now the head coach at Texas Tech. They start throwing the football all over the place. It's not like they were able to recruit receivers to that offense. Yet all of the guys they already had on campus turned into wonderful receivers.
And that's due to the hire of Steve Spurrier Jr. I mean, Bob Stoops made a great decision to bring Steve Spurrier Jr. into the mix, and he really taught the receivers how to run routes and soften their hands to catch the football. He's done a heck of a job.
It was a 1st down. Heupel throwing down the middle. And he had his tight end, Matt Anderson. And he was a little bit short of actually his 88, Trent Smith.
Yeah, he threw it behind him a little bit. And part of the reason is he got blown up. I mean, Heupel got hit in the pocket. Threw it a little bit low and a little bit behind. Heupel did not have all kinds of time to sit in there, transfer his weight, and throw a dart.
He's tough to sack. He's been sacked only once. In fact, he's played 15 games at OU. He's been sacked only 15 times. So he gets rid of it on time.
Yes, he does.
time this time, and it breaks down. Speaking of sacks, he's looking downfield, and B.J. Ferguson comes up with his first sack of the year.
Yeah, Ferguson got a sack in the pressure before applied by Green. Green and Ferguson back-to-back pressures on Heupel, and this time you talk about a dogged determination. I mean, he split a double team, and Ferguson just got his pad level a little lower and kept working into the backfield, split the double team, and sacked the quarterback. That's a star on your forehead right there, big time.
3rd and 17 for Oklahoma. They need the 12-yard line. Rice brings 4. They drop in coverage. Man open inside the 5-yard line. Andre Wolford. How about that delivery?
Boy, he's got such a feathery touch of the football. You know, and all Rice can do in the secondary is shake their head. Gatlin in coverage, but Wolford, he plays a little corner. He's a two-way player, and you see him here at the bottom of the screen. You see Heupel throwing the football up at the top of the screen, and there's Wolford running his route. Real good hands. He knows how to release off the line of scrimmage with those great hands.
Griffin struts into the end zone. Touchdown, Oklahoma.
2 rushing touchdowns for the Sooners.
You know, Rice had Oklahoma right where they wanted to him. 3rd and 17. The coverage was real soft.
And Griffin, as we take a look at him, Drew, 5'7". He hides behind those gargantuan offensive linemen.
Duncan tacks on the extra point. The lead at 8, 14-6 with 3:35 to go in the first quarter. Few teams in the country can strike as quickly as the Sooners. Gets his mitts on it, 8 yards deep. He puts the knee down, and Rice will have 80 yards to traverse. 14-6, Oklahoma leading. Here's a look at their Buick scoring drive. They only had to move it 50 yards, and they did it in 7 plays. The big conversion, Andre Wolford from Josh Heupel on 3rd and 17, and he got about 25 yards.
You know, the tempo of Oklahoma's offense, Drew, is unbelievable. They got 7 snaps off at the line of scrimmage in a little over 2 minutes. They're wasting very little time in the huddle. They're getting up to the line of scrimmage quickly, giving Rice very little recognition time defensively.
Wolf wants to throw on 1st down.
Over the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he was over the line of scrimmage. Great catch downfield by Brandon Manning with one hand.
Coming back.
And it's all going to come back because he had 1 foot over the 20-yard line, which was the line of scrimmage.
And he launched it from about the 21 almost, and that's going to cost him. That's unfortunate, but it's field awareness. And Coach Hatfield's upset, but it was very, very definite. And Wolf has to realize where the line of scrimmage is. Remember, the line of scrimmage is the 20-yard line. Little play action. Now he crosses the 15. Here he comes to the 20-yard line, crosses the 20, throws the ball at the 21-yard line. He's a yard over the line of scrimmage. But you talk about great concentration on the football. Tremendous left hook right there by Brandon Manning securing that football.
You know, it's interesting. Brandon Manning, tight end, Travis Thompson, the backup tight end, both have receptions this year. And the reason I mention that, ordinarily it's not mentionable, but it's the first time 2 tight ends have caught a ball at Rice in the same season since 1992. Gives you an idea how much they run it.
Exactly. And they're throwing it today. I mean, I think it's good strategy to have Wolf throw it.
QB draw with Wolf. And he gets maybe a yard or 2. Torrance Marshall, Rocky Kalmus combined on the tackle. You will hear that quite a bit if you follow Oklahoma football this year.
Oklahoma had 2 weeks to prepare for Rice's option, and that's what they focused on. And they became, you know, they really melted their defense down. They gave responsibilities and said, take away some of the aggressiveness and play your keys and play your reads. And now Rice kind of bamboozles them a little bit by running different formations and throwing the football. I think it's great strategy by Rice, and it's an adjustment time for Oklahoma. And Venables will make that adjustment.
Yeah, the co-defensive coordinator, Brent Venables. Wolf looking for his pitch man. He wasn't there. This thing's ugly from the get-go, and it's going to lose a couple of yards. Adrian Sadler was trailing Ben Wolf. That is not good option pitch relationship.
Exactly. There was no kind of relationship whatsoever. Mike Stoops was the assistant head coach and co-coordinator of the defense. And here, Wolf's like, okay, we're Sadler. Where are you? There you are. And he almost had to pitch it directly behind him, close to a face mask over there. I think Oklahoma might have gotten away with having a hand up in the headgear a little bit.
You know, Brent Venables was saying something very interesting to us yesterday. He said, you know, we're in attack-style defense. This goes against our nature playing assignment football.
Exactly.
3rd down and 14. Wolf will run the option. He cuts it back. And a decent play, but not nearly enough. He gets to the 23, needed the 30. Marshall and J.T. Thatcher bring him down, and Rice will have to punt the football. And again, they'll be punting into the wind. Oklahoma figures to get good field position.
Well, in Coach Hatfield, I mean, he's got some confidence in his passing attack, but 3rd and 14 backed up with bad field position, didn't have that much confidence to take the risk of turning the football over, so deciding he's going to punt it away. But Oklahoma will once again get significant field position, as you mentioned, Drew, and you give Heupel a short field to negotiate, and it's a tough deal.
It becomes like touch football for him. 10 men on the line of scrimmage for Oklahoma, but they back out of it. And Hale's punt, fielded by Thatcher at the 39. Wow. And he gets to the 48, maybe 49-yard line. So again, a short field for the Sooners to operate, a punt of 37, a return of 9. Let's check the key to the game for the Oklahoma Sooners. Dave, what do you have?
Well, Thatcher got that little hip pointer going on, but what Oklahoma wanted to do was get an early lead and make Rice play catch-up, and they're doing that. They're getting that done. In the option, you have to be a sure tackler in space once they stretch the field horizontally, and Oklahoma's been pretty solid in that area. The big play factor. Last year, they had 55 plays of 25 yards or more. This year, they've already got 13 out of their running game, passing game, and special teams.
The super freshman Ronaldo Works checks into the backfield. Heupel goes downfield. It's intercepted. He was looking for Savage, and it was picked off. 24 is Josh McMillan.
McMillan picked it off while he was down on both knees. If you secure the ball, have possession of the ball with a knee down, that's the end of the journey. But he gets the football back for Rice at the 30-yard line. Heupel just inaccurate with this one. Threw it low and behind his receiver.
You don't often say that about Heupel.
No, that is not his MO at all, but behind his receiver and good enough coverage and a good enough adjustment of the football by McMillan to pick it off. That's Heupel's 3rd interception of the young season. 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. His touchdown to interception ratio a lot stronger than that last year.
Wolf remains at quarterback. He sends Weber right and Okoronkwo to the near side. Late pitch, and Sadler lowers his headgear, and he'll get 3 or 4 yards running into Michael Thompson.
Michael Thompson has done a nice job out of the secondary. You described him on his first hit that he had, Drew, almost like a linebacker, the way he throws that weight around. And Rice, though, the early stages of this football game pretty much going according to the way they had hoped. Their defense not able to stop Oklahoma the first 2 drives, but to get a takeaway on the 3rd drive is right what the doctor ordered. So if they can go on a long, sustained, eat the clock drive here, they're in good shape.
Last winning season for Rice, 1997. They were 7-4. They were 7-4 also in 96. Remember their quarterback, Chad Nelson. He ran the option to perfection. Sadler, on a little misdirection, gets just a couple of yards, and it'll set up 3rd down and 4. But that is something they can convert. They have some options 3rd and 4, but the offense they run in the wishbone, when they're 3rd and 14, they got to put up a white flag.
Absolutely, and you know, Wolf, you can run that little play action out of the option, get him out of pocket, change the launch point a little bit, and he's shown that he can throw the football and convert on these down and distance situations. Coach Hatfield bringing him to the sideline and giving him the play. This is a big 3rd down right here. If Oklahoma's defense can hold this to a 3-and-out after the turnover, that would be strong for the Sooners.
And I think one of the things Ken Hatfield told Wolf is just hang out, because the quarter will expire and we'll get the wind at our backs for this 3rd down and 4. Interesting first quarter in Norman. The Sooners, 17th ranked, have a 14-6 lead on the Rice Owls. Interesting maneuver here by Coach Ken Hatfield on 3rd down and a long 4. Now we see Corey Evans, and he did tell us yesterday that he would not be afraid to switch quarterbacks in the middle of a series. So on a big 3rd down, here's the guy who runs the option a little more efficiently. He cuts it back, and he is going to be short of the 1st down by a yard. Tackled by Torrance Marshall.
Boy, very, very strong open field tackle. I mean, Marshall just came out of nowhere. It looked like when Evans turned it upfield, he was going to gain some significant yards. Now it looks like Rice might be going for this thing on 4th down. This is 4-down territory for Ken Hatfield. Takes his tight end back to talk a little bit more, and he sends Manning back in the game. So here it is, 4-down territory, backed up at his own 40-yard line. He's going, rolling the dice. I like this.
I like it too. His philosophy, we've got nothing to lose, right to the line of scrimmage.
Trying to do the long count, make him jump. Oklahoma's going to hold their water. Yeah, that's all they were trying to do. Just get him to jump off sides, and they couldn't get it done.
Good discipline by the Sooners. The timeout called by Evans. So we expect Rice now to punt it when we come back. Well, after the timeout, Rice selects not to punt the football. They're at the line of scrimmage. They will go for it, 4th down and a yard at their own 39-yard line.
Well, they wanted to get it the easy way initially, drawing out Oklahoma offside, didn't get it done, still deciding to go. This is some guts here. Same deal.
1st down. Wow. 2nd effort by Jamie Tyler. He was hit, I think, short of the 1st down, but Tyler, like a good running back, falls forward, and the 220-pound junior will move the chains for Rice.
Well, as a former lineman, I respect both offensive and defensive lines. A long count once again for Rice. They run a little wedge play. I mean, everybody just blocked down a gap inside and tried to root hog Oklahoma off the line of scrimmage. They got enough movement at the line of scrimmage to secure the 1st down, but long snap count. You get antsy as an offensive lineman and jump, you can definitely encroach as a defensive lineman, and both teams showed good discipline.
Yeah, that snap count wasn't 1 or 2, it was about 12.
Yeah, it was a long one.
And now Corey Evans looks at the defense on 1st down and calls another timeout. So Rice, no, excuse me, it's a delay of game. Before he could get the timeout called, John Laurie.
5 yards, replay, 1st.
John Laurie indicates a delay, so it'll be 1st and 15.
That's the one thing you don't want to do, is get off schedule by penalty. You're running the wishbone, you know, or a form of it. There's a little veer, there's a little wishbone, there's quite a few little salt and peppers in the recipe of Ken Hatfield's option game, but you don't want to be off schedule, particularly with a quarterback that's completing 23% of his passes at the helm for you right now.
Hatfield's the option guru. David Lee's his offensive coordinator, but make no mistake, the plays are called by that man, Kenny Hatfield. Evans turns it back, not fooled. Roy Williams, the 215-pound strong safety, as we look at our sleep-in 1st quarter numbers in a 14-6 ball game.
Well, as you look at, here's the big deal right here. Look at that time of possession, playing keep away. Oklahoma, though, that's nice right there. Have not committed any self-destruction penalty. The one turnover it didn't turn into a big factor at this juncture of the football game, but Rice melting the clock. They're dripping seconds off the clock. They're shortening the game. That was one of their big keys, and that's what they're doing so far.
Ben Wolf back in. Got a slant. He's got Weber again, the touchdown man. And it'll be a pickup of about 8 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
I like that. Wolf saying to Weber, we don't have to get it all, but let's make it a 3rd and makeable situation. Let's make sure we complete this football. Good protection, giving him a lane, Wolf a lane to see. He sees Weber, puts the ball right on the number 6 between a couple of defenders. And now it's 3rd and short.
Davy's going to wear his quarterbacks out, running to the sideline. Back in is Corey Evans.
Messenger QBs.
This is really strung out. Can Sadler get to the corner? He cannot. Dropped at the 48-yard line. That's 3 yards short of the 1st down. Roger Steffen over there defensively for Oklahoma, number 9.
Well, I think we get a good look at Oklahoma's defensive team speed there, Drew. Talk about feathering the quarterback and stretching it. And that's exactly what Oklahoma did. Now, will Hatfield go for it again on 4th and short? He's saying, not going to go this time. We're going to punt the ball away. Now, I'd be alert for a fake, though. He's already shown that he's got a riverboat gambler mentality in this football game. I'd make sure the ball's punted away before I release down the football field. There's a punt return there.
Thatcher back at his own 10. Hale will punt it, and it's a good punt. And it takes a Rice bounce. They down it at about the 5-yard line. Great job. Patrick Dendy got down on special teams.
Big 12 football is brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, this is the taste. By Citgo, you know me. And by Sleep In. The next time you travel, stay at Sleep In a class by itself. Beautiful campus, beautiful afternoon in Norman, Oklahoma, a suburb of Oklahoma City. And with 12:13 to go in the second quarter, the Sooners have a 14-6 lead, but they're backed up at their own 6-yard line. Heupel with Ronaldo Works, and he hands it to Works, and Works kind of staggers out to the 10-yard line. Let's take a look at our Dr. Pepper conference leaders. Ronaldo Works has made a splash in his first couple of ball games. You look at the rushing leaders in the conference. Works from Oklahoma is 5th, and there's another true freshman ahead of him, Marcus Houston from Colorado. Heupel on 2nd and 6, throws in the flat, Works. Has great hands. His hands are so good, Dave, we were told he could be a wideout.
Yeah, Bobby Stoops said that he made a couple of plays in practice. He thought it was one of his talented wideouts making catches, and it was Works. You know, Works as a running back, look at him, long legs, long arms. Robert Smith, remember Robert Smith at Ohio State plays with the Minnesota Vikings? I mean, he's got the long appendages, you know. Remember Frank Murphy at Kansas State with the long arms and long legs, and he's got deceptive speed with that long gait. This kid's the real deal, and he prepares himself well as a freshman too.
3rd and 1, he gets the call, and I don't think he got there.
No, he bounced it and didn't get there.
He bounced and lost his footing. And I think it's going to be 4th down.
I'll tell you what, though, the guy that blew it up for Rice is Clint Johnson. And he's limping off the field right now, but he got penetration, and he's submarine. Watch it right at the top of the screen. Watch Johnson get the penetration, and he's the one that made Works bounce it. Heupel carrying out his play fake, but there's the bounce with the penetration, and as a result of that, and Rice captured the line of scrimmage. That's one of the things they want to do, not get pushed around. They're doing a decent job.
And now Oklahoma's Jeff Ferguson will punt it into the wind. Sean White at his own 40. And this is a low line drive. White to the 36. The first man who initially missed recovers and makes the tackle. That's Ante Jones, who's battled injuries throughout his Oklahoma career. A 51-yard boot into the wind. And instead of half a field, Rice at their own 36. They thought they were going to have much better field position than that.
Well, they decided to kick a low line drive to combat the wind because they had real confidence in the speed of their coverage people, and Jones showed that the confidence was was deserved. He got down the football field, and boy, did he show some determination. Stayed after it and made the play.
Corey Evans will start this series at quarterback. At least he'll take the first snap. Here's a counter with the quarterback, and Evans will have a first down. In fact, he'll get 17 yards, flip side of the 50 to the 45 before Michael Thompson could knock him down.
Well, there's nice little counter action again, and Rice pulled the guard. He's Fowler. Watch him pull. He's out in front of the quarterback. Little misdirection. All the plays, actions going to the right. Heath Fowler, personal protector for his quarterback, throws the cut block and gives his quarterback an opportunity to pick up some additional yards. Evans with that speed. Nice design, though. All the action going one way except for two guys going the other. Make Oklahoma's speed go against them, over pursuit.
Now Corey Evans goes into the game, and Ben Wolf comes out, and he calls a timeout. Second timeout burned by Rice. 10:22 to go in the first half. 8-point lead for the Sooners.
Matt Weber is the receiver that got his team on the board. He caught the touchdown pass. 4th and 6. Weber catches the ball from Wolf. Thompson gambled. And Thompson lost on that gamble. Took a bad angle of the football. Weber made him pay. And that's how Rice got on the board. And then the celebration penalty and 12 men in the huddle. A 40-yard extra point was no good, and that could come back to be a factor in this football game.
By the way, that last timeout called by Rice, actually their third, so they're out of timeouts. Wolf to throw, and he bounces it to Okonkwo, who is open. And I'll tell you what, when Rice does throw the football, this year just 33% completion rate, obviously that is not good. But when they surprise Oklahoma and throw it, they've got to hook up when they have a guy wide open, don't they?
No question about it, Drew, and everything was good. Throw it on first down. That's a good down to throw the football because you're throwing it because you want to, not because you have to. And the play was there. The route was open, but Wolf just did not execute. And Ken Hatfield said, you got to get it there.
Evans back in. And Evans has the corner. Corey Evans inside the 30. To the 24-yard line before he was spilled by Derek Strait.
Well, it was the same play that they utilized before. The big guard out in front pulling again. There he is. And all the action goes one way, little counter coming back the other. And Rice's formula of and Oklahoma's in man coverage. Look down the field, the secondary, they got their heads turned in man coverage. They don't even realize Evans is running the football until he's generated serious yards. So they caught him in man coverage, got to the edge, and gashed him for significant yards. And once again, he followed with a nice block. They're using Oklahoma's aggressiveness and speed against them over pursuit.
Cutback lane. Oh, man, he takes a punishing shot from Rocky Kalmus. I mean, Kalmus came up and handed him his business card.
Kalmus, Mr. Contact. I'll tell you, he's Bam Bam. This guy likes to strike you. Look, here's a linebacker now. He's pursuing. He's down the line of scrimmage, sheds the block, hurdles him, and detonates. Of course, he has some nice help down around the legs of Stephan. But Kalmus says, hey, you're sitting prey. I'm going to make you pay.
2nd and 6. Evans. Well, that thing better get out of bounds for Rice's sake. Anthony Griffin was the pitch man. That is where Rice is not nearly as crisp as they've been in years past. The meshes and the option relationship between the quarterback and the pitch man, we've seen it through the first quarter and a half. It's not good.
Right, and it even had started at the fullback position for a while due to injury, and Rice has put the ball on the ground 8 times and lost 7 of them coming into today's game. That's the 9th time the ball was put on the ground. They didn't lose that one, fortunately for them, but 9 fumbles and to lose 7 of them, that's shooting yourself in the foot too many times.
3rd down and 5 here. Means it is Ben Wolf's down.
Big red zone play right here.
Quarterback draw, Wolf. Very close to a first down. Strait and Marshall there defensively for Oklahoma.
Talk about wrinkles to your offense, to your option. It's just good ball handling, a fake pitch by Wolf. Watch it. He'll reverse pivot, fake the pit, and then boom, he's gone. Quarterback draw. That's an excellent play. And really, it's pretty good blocking at the line of scrimmage. No penetration by Oklahoma. Here I go for it. I don't settle for the field goal. If they're a little short, I go.
I don't think there's any question based on what we've seen from Ken Hatfield so far. And give Hatfield a lot of credit today, as they're going to be about 6 inches short.
Yep, a couple of 3 links of the chain, and that's about it.
Utilizing both quarterbacks, he's kept Oklahoma off balance. Wolf comes in, you think pass, and he runs quarterback draw.
No doubt, and he's really done a heck of a job of saying, hey, guys, if you play hard for me and you give me all the effort that you got, I'm going to reward you by taking a few chances. They're going to be calculated risks. I'm not going to be hesitant to try to win this football game. I don't want you to be hesitant with your performance either. He's living up to his end of the bargain, as are his players.
So here we go, another 4th down for Rice. They need half the length of a football. The fullback is Jamie Tyler.
Wow.
I don't know. I mean, if he got it by millimeters.
Boy, did Oklahoma show some takeoff. Crowd loves it. They captured the line of scrimmage.
They're not going to measure. Or now they are going to measure. Oklahoma's offense is heading onto the field. Rice doesn't think they got it. They've gone off the field. And now John Laurie signaling to the chain crew that indeed he wants a measurement. But based on where they put the football, I think they lost yardage.
And both teams seemed to think that way as they departed the field. Yeah, they did. They lost about 5 lengths.
They needed 3 lengths for the first down, and they lost 5.
It all starts up front. And look at Fisher. He almost intercepts the handoff. Oklahoma captured the line of scrimmage. Oklahoma, there's no reason not to be aggressive on this type of snap at the line of scrimmage. And Oklahoma said, we're going to get there long before you guys even get out of your 3-point stance. And boy, did they. It all starts up front, and they won that battle.
Big stop for the Sooners. Hey, Dave, Rice has done everything necessary for a decided underdog coming into a hostile environment except score points.
Yeah, and you have to take advantage of that type of opportunity. I mean, I don't disagree with anything that Rice decided to do. I think Ken Hatfield said, look, we're in the red zone. How many times are we going to get here? When we get here, I want to score touchdowns. I don't want to settle for field goals because Oklahoma can score so many points. I agree with all the line of thinking, but you have to execute and take advantage of the opportunity.
Heupel out of the gun all afternoon, and he finds a man, Antoine Savage. 27-yard line, first down, Oklahoma.
Well, you talked about the protection, Drew, having all day to throw the football, and you can't give Heupel this much time. The route, run up the top of the screen, 3 receivers, they flood the zone, and Heupel buys a little bit of time, stepping out of pocket and delivers a strike. I mean, the protection was there, the throw was there, the catch was there.
He went through his progression, looked at about 4 different receivers. Heupel, wow, great catch, Trent Smith to the 47-yard line. His 5th catch of the year.
Well, Dendy tried to separate him from the football, but couldn't get it done. Trent Smith does a good job of securing the ball because Dendy tries to blow him up. Here's Smith running right down the middle of the field. I mean, you got a tight end that can stretch it a little bit down the hash mark. Here comes Dendy. Tries to strip it. I would have just blown him up a little bit more than he did. But Smith, good hooks.
Here's Quentin Griffin on the delay. And he sneaks through for about 8 yards. Lance Redmond and Justin Engler bring him down. Now a fight going at about the 31-yard line.
Well, there's laundry everywhere on this one. I said it before about Quentin Griffin, Drew. Kid's 5'6". He hides behind those big old linemen. The big old linemen are a little bit mad about the treatment that Griffin got on that play, but he's 5'6", hiding behind those gargantuans.
Dead ball, personal fouls, both directions, no distance penalty.
Well, the officials say that both parties were equally responsible, so it's an offset after the play. But 5'6", 187 pounds. Now, if Griffin, if he were 6'1", he'd be weighing about 220. He's a short man. It's not like he's not put together now. He's a rock, but he's 5'6".
And they had planned on redshirting him last year with 5 games to go because of injuries. Michael Thornton went down. They asked Quentin Griffin to pull the red shirt off. And Bobby Stoops even called his mom and said, is it all right? And they said, it's fine. And he really shined in the final 5 games. We saw him place a block on Chris Michaud, the enormous little linebacker for Baylor. He lit him up.
Oh, absolutely. And that time he's stymied because he has to make his first cut in the backfield. Brandon Green, the big defensive end, blows it up with penetration. But, you know, you look at Griffin, he doesn't give you any hitting surface. It's a pectoral or quadricep. That's what's running at you. You know, I mean, the 22, look, it almost disappears. It almost tucks into his jersey. He's got a short upper trunk, and he doesn't give you much to hit.
3rd down and 3 for Oklahoma. Heupel will have a first down. Savage hooked up. He lost the football at the end of the play.
He did.
And it will be Rice football.
Second giveaway for Oklahoma as they're moving the football. I mean, Rice, it's going right the way Rice wants it to.
John White came up with the football.
Savage did everything well except ball security, and that's paramount. You got to hold on to the football. Rice is smelling something here today, and they got Oklahoma out of sync. I mean, Oklahoma is not hitting on all cylinders right now. The engine's leaking a little bit of oil, and Rice, their game plan is being executed to perfection, except taking advantage of opportunities. Drew, they haven't taken advantage of all opportunities.
Evans in the football game. He wants to run it again. And he's drilled maybe a yard. Torrance Marshall, big middle linebacker who can run, 6'2" and close to 255 pounds. A senior from Miami, Florida.
Well, Rice ran the play the other way this time. All the misdirection going to the left. They pulled the left guard, Keith Meyer, out in front of Evans. It's been working well going the other way, pulling Heath Fowler. They pulled Meyer, and Oklahoma responded. No more over-pursuing on the misdirection on that snap.
Wolf at quarterback. Flag comes in, and this thing's blown dead.
Yeah, early start. And Hatfield is coaching a heck of a game today. I mean, he has a definite game plan in mind, and for the most part, it's going his way. But when you get in the red zone and you go for it on 4th down, you have to execute. You can't come up empty when you get the ball in position to score. And the big offensive line for Rice is trying to get it done up front. Done a nice job of rotating his quarterbacks in there. Well, Wolf in the football game now, but Wolf and Evans have both given him what he wants. Evans giving him speed on the edge, and Wolf's throwing the football accurately.
2nd down and 15. 6:05 to go in the first half. The score remains 14-6 Sooners. Here's a fade to Weber, and he can't get to the football. The guy they missed today is a true freshman, Gavin Booth, 6'2", close to 6'3", from Grand Prairie, Texas, a wideout, highly recruited, but he's a little dinged up, didn't make the trip.
Yeah, and he can high jump 6'11", so he's got 6'3" height, and he can get up in the air. This time the Wolf throws the ball too far to the sideline, just leads it too wide, and he knows right away that he did not find the right spot to drop that football in down the football field.
Oklahoma now has Rice off schedule, 3rd and 15. Late pitch, bad idea. Rice covers it up. At the 15-yard line, they recover. Corey Heineke was right there to make sure.
Well, Wolf should have cut his losses. Decided to pitch the football late and added to the loss. The 10th fumble of the season. Wolf's in trouble. He's almost down anyway. Decides to pitch the football. He adds about 10 yards to his problem and almost lost the football. Very, very poor decision by Wolf not to just eat it and take the loss at that point in time. Trying to make something out of nothing almost cost him big time.
Shaun White able to get there and cover the football. Travis Hale now will punt from deep in his own field of play and crushes the football back to the 31. Here's Thatcher. Pretty good coverage by the Rice Owls.
There's a jet stream blowing down there. That ball was airborne.
54 yards in the air. 5:03 to go. 14-6 Oklahoma. Let's take a look at our Dr. Pepper Big 12 South standings. Texas Tech, Mike Leach, the O coordinator here in Norman last year. He's 4-0, and we'll see Texas Tech next week against the Aggies of Texas.
And they battled many times in the old Southwest Conference. I mean, that's going to be a heck of a battle over there at A&M next week.
It'll look a little strange without Spike Dykes on the sideline.
No doubt about it.
Oklahoma from their own 40. Heupel surveys and now under center. Here's Smith. Nice move by the tight end. And they'll get about 7 or 8 before Scott Huffman could bring him down. And a look at the North standings. Kansas State, Iowa State 3-0.
Great
Nebraska 2-0. Iowa State again, second straight year, and for the third straight year, they knock off in-state rivals, the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Tremendous recruiting implications there to dominate Iowa like they have. Iowa State getting it turned around.
And is there a better 0-3 team in the country than Colorado?
I'd like to see it. I'll tell you, they've had a murderous schedule.
And it will continue for 3 weeks. This is complete. Luttrell broke 3 tackles before Rashard Pittman dropped him. First down, Oklahoma.
Now, Rice is getting sloppy in that department tackling. Trent Smith made about 5 yards after his reception. Luttrell made at least 10. You know, it's one thing to complete the pass, but now you got to end the journey. Missed tackle, extra 12, 13, 14 yards. 4 guys from Rice have a shot at Luttrell where he should have gone down 12 yards up the field.
Offset eye, Griffin and Luttrell. Griffin inside the 40 to the 39. You got to love 35 Seth Luttrell. Very productive offensively, primarily a blocker, but he'll catch the football for you as you see B.J. Ferguson down on the field.
Can't lose him.
No.
He's a force at the line of scrimmage. And yeah, the thing about Luttrell you got to like, Drew, is the guy's a leader too. I mean, he's a captain not only of the offense, he's a captain of the special teams as well. So they really like Seth Luttrell a lot. Ferguson's helmet's now off, and he's hurting.
290-pound junior from Allen, Texas. He was honorable mention all-WAC a season ago.
You know what? I'm wondering if this is a case of just getting hit below the waist, if you know what I mean. I mean, I think he's just trying to compose himself. I think he got hit square below the waist. That might be a little bit of a problem. Although now he's limping on that left ankle significantly. Definite hitch in the get-along right there. Ferguson is going to penetrate at the line of scrimmage. Luttrell is involved with the lead block. Here he is as he buckles. He gets involved in the pile, and his own team falls on the legs from behind. 99 times out of 100, offensive linemen, wide receivers, defense, when you get hit from behind on your legs, you're going to have a knee or an ankle injury.
2nd and 7. Heupel having lunch in the backfield.
Ooh, almost
the ball, yeah. The ball ends up hitting the turf. About 4 different guys had a chance at catching that.
Boy, now Heupel is known for knowing and surveying the whole field, understanding what defenses are trying to do to him, and remedying it by going to his progression of reads and delivering the ball. And I'll tell you what, that time, if you give him that much time to deliver the football, you're going to have problems. That time, though, Rice rose to the occasion.
3rd down and 7 for Oklahoma. They need the 31. Leading by 8. Rice brings 4. They drop in coverage. Here's Luttrell in the flat. And this time, the open field tackle is executed by Antoine Shell.
Now, what are you going to do, Bobby Stoops? Are you going to go? Is this 4-down territory, or do you want to go for the long field goal? By the initial reaction, looks like he's going.
Well, the field goal would be in the neighborhood of 51 yards. Tim Duncan, pretty accurate, but like his counterpart Derek Crabtree, he's a guy that is more accurate inside 40, 45 yards, and that would be a kick into the wind. So Heupel brings him to the line of scrimmage on 4th and 3.
Watch this guy, Josh Norman in the slot. Big target, 6'3", over 200. Heupel's checking off. He calls a timeout. Didn't like the configuration presented to him defensively.
And that's a good timeout for Oklahoma. Obviously an enormous play. 2:52 left in a 14-6 ball game. You know, checking in, you're probably a little surprised. Rice has had the football at least clockwise most of this first half, but they have just 1 touchdown.
Yeah, they've run more snaps. They've been aggressive in their mindset, going forward on 4 downs. But the thing they haven't done, Drew, the biggest thing, they got in the red zone and got no points out of it. Went for it on 4th down and didn't get a point out of it. You have to take advantage of opportunities presented.
Well, this week we're in Norman. Next week, We're in College Station, Reveille and friends. Texas A&M hosting Texas Tech. Both schools are off this week. Ricky Williams, a terrific running back for Texas Tech, will be on display. And Tech will come in 4-0. The Aggies will come in 2 up and 1 down. College Station, Texas, next week on the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Game of the Week. And more than 74,000 in the house today. 11 straight sellouts for the Oklahoma Sooners. They were so dominant last year at home, Dave. They went clean 5-0. They outscored their opponents in 99 at home, 178-16. Are you kidding me?
And that's what you want to have, Drew. You want people to shake in their boots coming into your home to play. I mean, you want to protect your den. And did Oklahoma get that done last year? Big time.
Here it is, 4th and 3. Slant complete. Norman breaks a tackle. Breaking another tackle to the 5-yard line. You called it.
Yeah, that big boy. I'll tell you what, he is a target and a half. 6'2", 233 pounds. Once again, missed tackles, yards after catch. Norman in the slot. You know, you bring him in, and you get matchup problems. I mean, he's bigger than most defensive backs. Here's Norman. Watch him run down the middle of the football field. He gets an easy release. Now he splits the defenders. You know, you got to tackle the big fella. He splits the linebacker and safety. Heck of a stiff arm. I mean, what a shot to the chops of Kenny Smith.
Griffin to the 1. Griffin's been in the end zone twice already. It'll be 2nd and goal at about the 1-yard line.
Now remember, the next touchdown pass that Josh Heupel throws, he sets a record. He's tied with his coach Gundy, 35 career touchdown passes. So he's probably saying, where's that, let's throw this football. I'd like to set this record right here in the first half.
Griffin again, and he stood up just shy of the goal line and sent backwards. Jeff Vanover, number 4, led the charge. He'll get up last. Redshirt freshman from Diboll, Texas.
Griffin has been busy. You know, he's scored both the touchdowns on the ground. Hasn't really gained significant yards. I mean, he's less than 3 yards a pop. That's a nice number right there. 2 touchdowns rushing, and they're trying to get him a 3rd desperately. I'll tell you though, Rice is impressing me at the line of scrimmage. They're giving up significant pounds per man up front, but they're really doing a nice job of penetrating.
Heupel takes it himself. Touchdown. 3rd rushing touchdown of the year for Josh Heupel. He's a guy, Dave, that's a little bigger, a little stronger this year, Heupel, and that guy, speaking of big and strong, is all of that. Josh Norman on 4th down. He took it to the 5-yard line.
Josh Norman's a matchup nightmare. Bigger than members of the secondary, faster than linebackers.
Tim Duncan does his job. 21-6, Oklahoma with 1:08 to go in the first half in Norman.
Josh Heupel with the quarterback sneak, and it was a pretty obvious thing to do. Really, Rice invited him to by uncovering the guards. They didn't run a goal line defense.
Sean Wyatt will get a chance from the 9-yard line. To the 21-yard line with 1:02 left in the first half. Let's check in with Jim Knox. Knoxy?
Okay, thanks, Drew. Coming up on your Sonic America's Drive-In Halftime Report, we're going to take a look back at some terrific plays in the Big 12 with this week's conference cuts. Also, we head to our college football studios in Los Angeles with an interesting story on South Carolina head coach Lou Holtz. We'll also check other Big 12 action set for later today, including a report from Austin on tonight's Texas-Houston game. That coming your way on the Sonic America's Drive-In Halftime Report.
I think Mac Brown will have Texas ready to go after not playing well against Stanford last week.
And how about, Knoxy talking about South Carolina and Lou Holtz. How about them 3-0 and beating Georgia in the process, their big rival?
After a winless season, Ben Wolf at quarterback. And White takes takes the pitch and is bounced out of bounds by guess who? Rocky Chalmers.
Man, it's like Rocky Balboa out there, boy. He's striking people.
You know what? His mom said, I knew he was going to be a linebacker when he was born. He was 11 pounds, 11 ounces at birth.
Whew, that's a big kid. He loves contact. His mom said he was in the mix, right in the fray, right in the middle of all the activity, all the while growing up. So he likes high traffic areas.
And he finds high traffic areas.
And he's got the instincts. You know, sometimes he guesses. When he guesses right, it's a thing of beauty. When he guesses wrong, Coach Venables says, what are you thinking? So I don't know. I just thought that's what they were going to do.
Rice will run quarterback draw. They can't stop the clock. And that probably will be the final snap of the first half. Ryan Fisher makes the tackle.
And Drew, here, look, the guards are uncovered. You've got to run a quarterback sneak. I mean, they're not in a goal line defense. They're in a three-down lineman configuration, given gaps over both guards. I mean, Heupel would have to. If he didn't audibilize to it, he would have had to. That was too easy.
First half complete. Rice hanging in there. Let's check in with Jim Knox. Jim?
Okay, thanks, Drew. Coach, started a little slow, but got on a little roll towards the end of the first half. Your thoughts?
Well, yeah, just two inconsistent turnovers have hurt us. Turnovers and a few big plays defensively. We got settled down and made some plays there, and at the end of the second quarter to make it, a little bit better. But we just got to hold on to the football better and take care of it better and execute. And then defensively, we just got to take away a few big plays they've had.
Okay, best of luck in the second half, Coach. Drew?
All right, Jim, thank you. Again, the score 21-6. Bob Stoops, Oklahoma Sooners leading. Coming up, the Sonic America's Drive-In halftime report. Stick around. Memorial Stadium, Norman, Oklahoma. Our halftime score 21-6. Drew Goodman with Dave Lapham and Jim Knox. And here were the critical plays for Rice in the first half. Both came on fourth down, Dave.
Right on. And 4th and 6 is this situation. And convert. You know, this turns into a touchdown. You have a quarterback that makes the right read to Weber. Wolf puts the ball right on the money. A big gamble by Thompson. Didn't work out. Now 4th and short, less than a yard in the red zone again. Rice goes for it. Oklahoma stuffs it. Rice scores a touchdown one time. The second time they get no points. You have to take advantage of all opportunities, not 50% of them.
Nobody knows that better than Ken Hatfield, and he is downstairs with Jim Knox. Jim?
Coach, down 21-6 at halftime. What do you feel your club needs to do to get back in the game?
I think we just got to keep fighting the same thing we're doing right now. We feel like we have a chance. We had a couple of turnovers here. We've had great field position. We just got to keep doing the same thing. Play good field position. Don't turn the ball over, and we'll win the game.
Best of luck in the second half, Coach. Thank you.
All right, Jim. Ken Hatfield said, we enjoy coming into big, hostile environments. And his team has played like they're not intimidated, but they haven't made enough plays to knock off one of the top 20 teams in the land, Oklahoma. And Oklahoma, when they've had it, has been very productive in the first half. Josh Heupel was 15 of 18. That'll work.
15 of 18, 205 yards. No touchdown passes, and he did throw an interception. But 3 touchdowns on the ground, 2 by Griffin, 1 by Heupel. They've taken advantage in the red zone.
Sooners will get the football to begin. Damian Mackey and Antoine Savage back deep, and this one sails through the end zone, so Oklahoma will start at their own 20-yard line. Quentin Griffin has been in the end zone a couple of times in this football game. Antoine Savage has a couple of catches. And we've seen Ronaldo works a little bit today, the much heralded freshman.
And there's Josh Heupel. As we talked about, an unbelievable completion percentage. You know, you complete 5 out of 6. It's basically what he's doing. That's pretty strong. Now the interception was probably his worst throw of the day. Threw the ball low and behind his intended receiver. This kid, you know, you don't realize it. 205 yards. I didn't realize he'd thrown for that many yards.
It was a quiet 205 yards. That wasn't so quiet. Great strike to Andre Wolford. This kid Wolford's a tremendous athlete, just a sophomore, 6 foot, close to 200 pounds. He may be the best cornerback they have.
Well, I'll tell you, he was compared to Chris Canty, and basically it was the opinion this kid's a better athlete than Canty, a two-way guy. Ran a nice route there, and Heupel put the ball right on the money to the outside.
This is well diagnosed. Savage on the screen. Right there is Dan Dawson, one of the big play guys defensively for Rice.
Yeah, that was tremendous route recognition. He saw the little wide receiver screen to the alley develop, and he said, not this time, boys. And Oklahoma finds themselves off schedule. You complete a pass for negative yards. That's not what you had in mind.
Second down and 11. Dawson's a tough guy. Last year broke his leg and played most of the season with a broken wrist. Rice drops into coverage out of the backfield. Here's Griffin with room. And he's dropped after about 7 yards. Travis Ortega, number 3, wrapped him up. And the first half numbers look like this, brought to you by Sleep In.
Well, 2 turnovers by Oklahoma has kept Rice in the game, but look at the time of possession is keen right there. Oklahoma not able to run the football. Now, I said Rice had to throw for 100. They get 53 at the half. They're on pace to throw for at least 100 yards to stay competitive, but Oklahoma only 22 yards rushing on 13 carries. Rice has made Oklahoma one-dimensional, which is what they wanted to do.
3rd and 3 for the Sooners. Heupel, Savage, first down. Pitch and catch. They need 3. They get 8. We asked Josh Heupel yesterday when we sat down with him, if you gave a scouting report on yourself, how would it read?
The biggest thing that I bring to the game is my leadership in the huddle and throughout the entire football team. And that's the most important thing that a quarterback can bring to the table. And after that, hopefully my mental capabilities help get our offense in the right play at the right time.
The old football IQ. Heupel's got a high one.
And his football IQ says scramble. And he gets 14 to the 31-yard line. You know, you talk about his IQ as a football player. He grew up around the game. His father, Ken, is the coach at Northern University in Aberdeen, South Dakota.
Watch the pass rush lanes here get distorted. Heupel says, oh, man, look, the Red Sea parted. The only guy in my way is the umpire, the official. He's going to take off down the football field and made a quick decision in so doing. You know, Heupel, he's about the same body weight, but his fat composition is down, and he said it's going to give him quicker feet in the second half of the football game. You noticed it right there. He had nice acceleration.
Ronaldo Works Davis checked into the backfield. Heupel, batted, intercepted, picked off downfield by Greg Gatlin, the old tip drill, and that's the 3rd Oklahoma turnover.
Well, Josh Heupel threw the football to the middle of the field late, and Pittman, the linebacker, is the one that tipped it, and Gatlin is the one that secured the tip. So it's a case of 2nd interception of the day for Heupel, 3rd giveaway of the day for the Oklahoma Sooners. Little self-destruction in the turnover department. Josh Heupel, plenty of time. Now he gets out of pocket, vacates pocket on his own, decides to throw back to the middle of the field late. Pittman tips, ball airborne. Gatlin makes the break on the football. Nice play by the Rice defensive football team.
First interception on the season, 2nd for Gatlin's career. Wolf hands off to the fullback, and a minimal gain for Jamie Tyler.
I'm not sure exactly why Josh Heupel decided to vacate pocket on that, because there was no pressure. And I know there's a clock in a quarterback's head, but well, there wasn't really any threat to him whatsoever. And when he got out of pocket and threw back across his body late, he ran into problems.
Yeah, there was no one within 5 yards of Josh Heupel. No. The offensive line just stood everybody up right at the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 8. Marshall shows blitz. Option goes the other way. White trying to cut it back. He eludes Kalmus, but Kalmus had friends with him. Roy Williams, Corey Heineke.
Well, it's very disconcerting for White when he gets the pitch and he's on the perimeter and there are already 3 Oklahoma defenders out there. It's like, oh, this isn't supposed to be the case. I'm supposed to be out here one-on-one, worst case scenario, maybe green field in front of me, and there were 3 Sooners. He had to slam the brakes on and turn it up inside. Great inside-out pursuit by the Sooners.
Their biggest plays offensively, other than the pass play, been Corey Evans with misdirection, getting Oklahoma to over-pursue. 3rd down and 5. Wolf trying to throw on the backside, has a lane to run. He'll have a first down. The power slide out to the 38-yard line. Somebody better tell him, hey, you're an option quarterback. It's okay if you hit somebody.
Yeah, really. But he did. He assumed the fetal position on that one and decided to cozy up. I'll tell you what, any baseball player would have been very proud of that hook slide. It was well executed, but he made a good decision. He saw the pass rush lane distorted as well. He said, I can run this football for a first down. He knew exactly where he needed to go, got there, and then took himself down for safety.
Ken Hatfield has an interesting philosophy. He'll recruit a lot of high school quarterbacks and then move them to other positions.
Yep.
Rice calls a timeout with 10:30 to go in the third quarter in a 21-6 football game. We'll come back to Norman. We're in Norman, Oklahoma. 21-6 the score. Drew Goodman, Dave Lapham, Jim Knox at Memorial Stadium, Owen Field. 76th year that the Sooners have called Memorial Stadium home. 1st and 10 for Rice. And after the timeout, they run the fullback to the 40-yard line, Jamie Tyler.
Well, the Sooners came into this football game, Drew, +4 in the turnover department, 5th best in the country. They're -3 today. So they've undone a lot of good by giving the football up today. Rice, on the other hand, has they've kept the football. They haven't given it away. And that's why they're in this football game to the point they are.
Wolf attacks the corner. Good job there. And a nice move by White to elude one tackler. And he'll have a first down.
I think it was Thatcher that missed the tackle on the edge. And as Thatcher couldn't finalize that play, White got the first down on a make-you-miss deal.
Out near midfield. A reminder, next week, our Dr. Pepper Big 12 Game of the Week will emanate from College Station, Texas. The Texas Aggies hosting the Red Raiders of Texas Tech and Mike Leach. I'll tell you a funny story in a moment that Bob Stoops related to us about his former offensive coordinator, Mike Leach. Wolf on first down, wants a bundle, got a man out there, Sadler, and he hauled it in at the 10-yard line.
Well, all week long, you talk to the safeties about don't get sucked up on the play action stuff in the option. You can't let the receivers get behind you. And Thatcher let that happen. I mean, he let Sadler get behind him. And the little fake of the option, and here goes the ball down the football field. Kalmus gets the hit late, but Thatcher's behind. You know, there's pretty good speed right there by Sadler. And no matter how much you work on it and how much you're not going to let it happen, during the actual game speed, you get sucked up in the play fake, and they hit him over the top.
Here's the option, Wolf. That's almost a forward pitch to the 9-yard line. Anthony Griffin. And evidently, the pitch was okay, but just a couple of yards. You get Sadler in stride. That's a touchdown. Sadler earlier this year, 68-yard touchdown, the best speed of anybody in a Rice uniform. Total offense, not the disparity you would figure coming in.
No, particularly the 15-point deficit and the fact that Oklahoma's turned the football over 3 times and Rice hasn't turned it over at all. So Rice has done a good job of controlling the clock. They've had extra possessions by turnover because of Oklahoma's mishandling of the football. But here they are in the red zone again. They got to execute.
Wolf cuts it up, nearly lost the football, and he'll hold on and get inside the 5-yard line.
Kalmus tried to pull it out of there, Drew. Rocky Kalmus got in there and got right in Wolf's hands and tried to rip at it. Take a look as Wolf goes down the line of scrimmage. Watch Kalmus come over the top here and just rip at it. Rocky Kalmus almost separated him from the football, but couldn't quite get it done. 3rd down at the 5-yard line, huge. I still say 4-down territory. No need to settle for field goals now. You got to score touchdowns. Last time in the red zone, couldn't get it done. Got to this time.
They can get a first down inside the 1. Corey Evans is checked in. Evans gets a block. He'll get in the end zone. Touchdown. They attack the corner, And Rice gets the touchdown from Corey Evans.
Jamie Tyler's the guy that you talked about with the block, Drew. Tyler got a nice kick-out block, and quarterback just took advantage of that block and cut it up inside. I'll tell you what, the play that was huge in that drive was Sadler. The big ball down the field to Sadler set the thing up. Sadler got him in the red zone, and Rice finalized. We got a football game.
And they will go for 2, I believe. Remember, they had a missed extra point after their initial touchdown. They had a celebration penalty and then another 5-yard walk-off and missed a 40-yard extra point into the win. So Ben Wolf is out there trying to make it 21-14.
Ken Hatfield's going ballistic on the sideline because his personnel group that he wanted on the field was late getting in there. He's frustrated.
Wolf floods his zone, trying to find a receiver, now has one, and the 2-point conversion is good. He found Vincent Hawkins, and it's 21-14. The Rice Owls hanging in there on the road in Norman, Oklahoma, with 7:47 to go in the third quarter. Just one touchdown differential.
Football is brought to you by Bushnell, makers of the extra wide binocular. Extra wide for extra fun. By Citgo, you know me. And by Dodge. Do not follow, do not conform. Be different.
(21-14) Oklahoma's lead is cut to 7. Brandon Skeen will kick it deep. Antoine Savage and Damian Mackey back there. Savage from the goal line. Out to the 32-yard line. Kenny Smith made the tackle covering the kick. Here's the touchdown again for Rice on the option, Corey Evans.
Watch the block by the fullback. Evans gets the touchdown, but watch the kick-out block. Here he comes, kick-out, boom on Kalmus. Touchdown, excellent block and by Tyler, and Evans took advantage of it. Motion man, the extra point. Motion man comes across the backfield, Hawkins. Looking for him all the way, Hawkins makes the second move. Wolf wanted him initially as he motioned all the way across the backfield. We saw him at the very end. He was the intended target, and Wolf eventually got it to Hawkins.
Huge conversion there. And now it's a 7-point football game. Can Oklahoma answer? Out of the gun, Heupel. Checks down to Griffin. And one-on-one with Ortega. And Ortega's a good open field tackler. I started to tell a story about Bob Stoops and Mike Leach a short while ago. Mike Leach, the offensive coordinator, did a great job, brought the passing game, gets the head coaching job at Texas Tech, and it happened right before their Independence Bowl. And Coach Stoops came in, tried to address the team, and everybody had a dour look on their face. And he said, hey guys, this isn't the past where you didn't play well and you got a guy fired. You played well and you got a guy promoted. It's a good thing.
Exactly.
Dropped by Norman right there with his mitts on it. Heupel delivered it. They dropped football, and they had several of those last week in their win against Arkansas State.
Well, you've got a situation where this high-powered Oklahoma offense, their attack now is out of rhythm. You know, there have been interceptions, tip balls. They really have not been able to establish a rhythm, and I think you have to give Rice a lot of credit for that. I mean, Oklahoma has self-destructed, though, with the turnover. Rice has hung in there. They're salty now. They're not going to give up on you.
And now they have renewed confidence. 3rd and 9. Oklahoma needs the 41. Again, all day for Heupel, and knocked away at the last instant by Jason Hebert. He almost picked that thing off, and Oklahoma goes 3 and out.
And with the tempo, they're getting the line of scrimmage so quickly, they're only afield for about 30 seconds. Now, Hebert's in the middle of the football field. They run a little crossing pattern. The intended receiver, Fagan, look at Hebert breaking the football. Heupel did not lead Fagan enough. He was concerned about the other safety and kind of hung the ball. The ball was in the air for quite a while, giving Hebert an opportunity to break on it.
Jeff Ferguson to punt. Sean White from the 30.
Nice.
to the 43-yard line for Sean White. So good field position for Rice. 21-14 Oklahoma. Rather interesting. Oklahoma, 2 blowout wins to begin the season, both at home. This is the third of a 4-game homestand to start the season for the Sooners, but they haven't had the football all that frequently. They've been productive for the most part when they've had it, but right now they have a tussle on their hands.
Well, turnovers are a great equalizer, and Oklahoma's coughed it up 3 times. And that's kept Rice in this football game, and Rice has done a nice job of executing their game plan. I mean, they've kept Son Wood, and they find themselves in a nice battle right now.
Corey Evans, the quarterback. He'll keep. And he'll dive ahead for about 4 yards. Rocky Kalmus will get credit for another tackle. He's up to about 55 tackles in the game.
Rocky Kalmus loves contact. I mean, he's a human pinball. And he's not the biggest guy in the world, not the fastest guy in the world, but you know what? Nobody's going to outwork him. And if you have that mentality that I'm not going to be outworked, you can play. You can play on anybody's football team, and that's his mindset. Nobody is going to outwork him.
Bright kid, too. Remember the academic All-Big 12 team last season. Wolf at quarterback. Whoa, he's in trouble, and he's dropped. Kalmus again with his buddy Corey Callens.
Boy, it was C-squared, the C brothers coming on this one, and nowhere for Wolf to go, nowhere to hide. They did a nice job of containing him. You know, here Kalmus is going to come on the blitz, and Callens is coming on the edge. Callens contains him and sacks him. Can't step up. Kalmus is coming. Callens is on the edge. Callens can come. See that 15 times fast.
I can't say it twice fast.
At any rate, they absolutely smothered Wolf.
3rd down and 14 for Rice. Flag comes in, backside throw, dangerous throw. It is incomplete. Looking for Adrian Sadler.
Got 2 flags.
John Laurie, the referee, threw the initial one.
I think he saw holding. Might be a little holding inside. There are 2 different flags, though, probably 2 different penalties. But holding, the official saw the hold. That was his call. See what the linesman saw.
Well, maybe they both saw a hold.
Yeah, they might have seen the same guy reaching out and grabbing. Pretty flagrant on the edge.
Holding, offense, 2 separate fouls, but we administrate 1 10-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
2 guys were holding, but they're only going to penalize one of them. You know what? If you're going to hold, you might as well have more than 1 guy hold. You got to get your money's worth.
Get it all done on 1 play.
Yeah, go 2 for it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Most of the time, I do know what you mean, Dave. Not all the time, but most of the time. 5:18 to go in the 3rd quarter with Dave Lapham and Jim Knox. I'm Drew Goodman. 21-14, Oklahoma leading by 7. Travis Hale to punt. J.T. Thatcher back at his own 20.
Oklahoma's going to decline because it's 3rd and 13 or 14 as it is. Why take the holding penalty? And Oklahoma will decline and take the football.
Makes sense.
That's their mindset.
Hale is punting with the wind. Oklahoma sets up a return. This is returnable from the 15. Good block initially. Thatcher's got a lot of room. A flag has come in. This one could come back. He's got to beat Hale, and the punter tracks him down at the 24-yard line, but it all could come back.
Yeah, I think you had an illegal block in the back at about the 30-yard line. I think the young man that threw the block is Mackey. I think Mackey blocked in the back.
How about Hale, the punter?
13. But now, how about him getting salty, huh? Making a play in the open field against the return man. I think Mackey's the one that they caught at about the 30-yard line. The initial block that you described, Drew, was a good one. It was close. Watch the initial block take place right there, and it's a pretty good block. Down the football field a little further, though, there was an illegal block in the back. And that's the one that brought the punt back. So that's going to cost significant field position, because you not only have a situation where you had a great return, it goes to the spot of the foul, which is going to cost a ton of yards.
So Oklahoma will be backed up to the 20. Let's see if we can find the penalty.
Right here. That's the block in the back that took place right there. official saw it. They'll leave a block in the back. They'll go.
Griffin gets through. And Griffin will have 13 yards. That's one of the more productive runs today for Oklahoma. Haven't had a lot doing in the running game.
Well, you know, if you're having trouble for whatever reason turning the football over with interception, you might as well try to establish that ground game. And Rice has done a pretty good job of controlling the running game. This time, though, they get Griffin into the secondary. The initial hit is not made until they get to Hebert at free safety.
They run a twist up front, and they can't find Quentin Griffin. He gets to the 40-yard line, an advance of 7. And we go downstairs to Jim Knox as a flag comes in late. Jim?
All right, Drew, real quick. First off, you see Quentin and the Sooners tack in the middle, and there's a reason because of this. Because nose guard B.J. Ferguson is out for the rest of the day. Knee injury, MCL. They're not sure if he's ACL yet, but right now Ferguson is gone the rest of the afternoon.
Yeah, remember he limped off the field in the first half. And hasn't really returned since then, but that's a serious blow because he is active in the middle.
Dead ball. What's for like both teams. Second down.
Well, these two schools are getting after each other this afternoon. That's the second time we've had unsportsmanlike penalties against both schools. They offset. It'll be second down and about 3. Yeah, you were talking about Ferguson. He's their best defensive lineman. There's Larry Brown. He's a pretty good one also. About 290 pounds from Spruce High School in Dallas.
And Oklahoma just has to somehow establish a consistent rhythm offensively. It hasn't happened. They've sputtered. Their machine has sputtered today. Self-destruction to a large part.
Griffin in the flat, and he's bounced out of bounds right around the sticks, knocked out by Antoine Shell.
And you know, Rice has done a good job of changing things up, Drew. They've rushed 4 and dropped 7 on Heupel. They've come with the blitz to periodically get him out of pocket. When you have a quarterback as good as Heupel is, you can't give him the same look snap after snap after snap. You have to make him think like he's seeing something that he's really not. Overload the line of scrimmage, back him out of there. Don't overload the line of scrimmage, then blitz. They've done a nice job.
Heupel on a quarterback sneak breaks it. On 3rd and 1. He got 14 to the 43-yard line of Rice.
He came up to the line of scrimmage and goosed the center. The only one that knew that was going to take place, Heupel came up, and it's based on study all week. If they're going to give him the middle wide open like that, he just comes up and gives pressure to the center, and the center snaps the football, and away goes Heupel. There's no middle linebacker, nobody to contact him. Came up to the line of scrimmage and goosed the center, and off they go.
Luttrell. And Luttrell keeps his feet. Now the running game's going to the 31-yard line.
We talked about at the top of the broadcast that if Oklahoma rushes the ball for 150 yards, they could be in real good shape. First half, they weren't close to getting that done. Underneath handoff to Luttrell, zone blocking inside. Nothing fancy, but he breaks tackles. I mean, he should have been caught for about a yard gain by Green, but he broke that arm tackle and picked up significant additional.
Complete. Smith. He had a lot of giddy up on that throw.
He did, and that's his last couple of interceptions were due to floating the ball, in my opinion, a little bit, but not that time. That time he threw more of a dart. Blitz pickup. Griffin inside. Doesn't get it face up totally, so he gets a hit on Heupel late. But Heupel's not fearful of contact. He stands in the face of pressure and takes hits as well as any quarterback around.
3 receivers go right, 1st and 10 from the +21. Heupel with Griffin next to him. And he gives it to Griffin. And Griffin keeps his feet. Griffin to the end zone. Touchdown, Oklahoma. How about that run?
Strong. Yards after first contact. Excellent blocking up front by the offensive line. It's what we used to call the old fold block, Drew. The center blocks to his right. The guard comes around him. Underneath to the linebacker linebacker level, so they just kind of crisscross. Center goes first, guard behind, and then Griffin broke tackles. Great play.
Third touchdown of the game for Griffin. Duncan makes it 28-14. An impressive drive for the Sooners, done mostly on the ground. Quentin Griffin gets in the end zone again. 28-14 Oklahoma. Sophomore out of Houston, Texas. He had only one other Division I-A scholarship offer, and that was from Texas A&M. White gets across the 25 to the 27-yard line. Here's the scoring drive for Oklahoma. They threw it a couple of times, but 5 of the plays were on the ground, and they traversed 80 yards.
Well, let's take a look at what happened up front. Here goes Burcham. Here comes Skinner, the linebacker. A little fold block right in the middle. And then Griffin does his thing. Breaks the arm tackle, and he shows great balance, gets the left hand down. Take another look. Watch him plant the left hand, boom, tripod. Balance, balance, Griffin, tremendous. Square the shoulder pads up, golden goalpost time.
Some of the Oklahoma faithful wondering why Ronaldo Works isn't the full-time starter despite his great beginning at Oklahoma. That's the reason why Griffin could play. Evans in trouble. He does well to get back to the line of scrimmage. The Oklahoma defense fired up. Roy Williams brings him down.
You know, Drew, as we looked at the Oklahoma scoring drive, it was a 7-play drive, only took 1 minute and 20 seconds. The tempo. Oklahoma wastes no time in the huddle offensively. I mean, they're attack, get to the line of scrimmage, give the defense very little time for recognition of formation, and they really press it. But if they go 3 and out, they're not on the field very long, and they put a lot of pressure on their defense. They got to move the chains.
Wolf at quarterback on 2nd and 10. Now he's in a world of trouble. He pays for that incompletion. Marshall chased him down. Roger Steffen also there, number 9.
Well, you talk about a two-headed monster at quarterback. Evans and Wolf almost alternating snaps here. Wolf, a lot of effort for a little, and then he gets drilled. I mean, he ran a ton, took a hit, and got nothing for it. That's not much of a paycheck for a lot of work put in.
Evans will take his turn. Here comes 74,000 on 3rd and 10. Nothing doing. Rocky Kalmus again.
Well, Oklahoma was late getting lined up in the proper defensive formation, but it didn't make any difference. Evans could not find a crease. Coach Venables met the team almost out by the numbers, greeting his defense for a nice 3-and-out effort as they leave the field.
Well, I worry about Brent Venables. Sometimes I think he might just run on the field without any equipment and try to make a play.
You know what? Brent Venables, the defensive coordinator for Oklahoma, this guy 2 years ago was the strongest guy on the football team. That wasn't very good. Mike Stoops, the assistant head coach we're looking at right there as the co-defensive coordinator with Venables. He's a strong kid. He's the strongest kid in the strongest guy in the Oklahoma program 2 years ago. Not anymore.
That punt goes out of bounds, and Oklahoma's going to have great field position. They're going to be out above the 40-yard line to the 43. Josh Heupel today, he makes everyone feel like they're a part of things, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. He's a left-handed quarterback, and he liked attacking the left quadrant of the football field today a little bit. But look at that, wide receivers. There are 12 of those. He checked down to his running back 6 times and tight end 4 times. But he does distribute the ball to all areas of the field, and he gets everybody involved. I mean, as I said before, he's got 35 career touchdown passes to 17 different receivers. That's phenomenal.
Heupel to Griffin, and again he breaks tackle. Wow. Griffin open field. Wow. Oh, man. To the 8-yard line. What a run. On the advance.
Well, as I said before, he gives you no hitting surface. He's like a quadricep in a pectoral coming at you. 1, 2, 3 misses. Now he's in the open field. You can't arm tackle this kid. A-Bear misses, and he cuts back again. Now he's on fumes, running out of gas, gets inside the 10-yard line, but what an effort. 4 missed tackles again on Griffin.
He's over 100 yards, 114 on 13 trips. This is Ronaldo Works. And he works his way to the 5-yard line. Griffin getting some oxygen on the sideline.
Griffin's gassed. he's definitely gassed. And it's nice to have a change of pace. You know, like Griffin, he's short. And his arms are short, legs, everything's short. And then in comes Works, long legs, long arms. It's a significant change of pace at the running back position by body type. Yeah, there's Griffin. See, that's how he hides behind his offensive lineman. You can't even find him in a group of people. 5'6". Boy, he'll thump you.
And Heupel trying to get Ronaldo Works and Seth Luttrell switched up, then turns around and calls timeout. 20 seconds left in the third quarter. Oklahoma leading 28-14, trying to stretch their lead. And a team that loves to throw the ball has done it here in the third quarter on the ground, Dave.
And we've talked about it. If Oklahoma rushes for 150 yards, they could be in good shape. And this guy trying to get it on his own, 150 yards. Great vision. And he's diminutive. He does not give you big hitting surface. He hides behind those offensive linemen, and then all of a sudden, boom, he bursts on you. He's just, he's a talented kid, and he's got the heart of a lion, you know? I mean, as I say many times, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. And Griffin will fight you. He's the biggest thing in his body probably is his heart.
That was a great run. There are good runs, and there are great runs, and that was a great run.
He's had a couple of good ones. And then he put the asterisk behind that one. He put a little statement, a little emphasis on that lug.
It would have been a double great run had he been able to finish the final 9 yards.
Yes, but he picked up the piano at about the 20-yard line. He was trying to get it off his back, but it's just got a little too heavy.
Bobby Stoops credit where others said too small to play running back in major college football. Bobby Stoops said, no, I like what I see. This kid can play.
Great thing about him, Drew, you know, he catches it and how well he blocks. We've talked about it. He's not bashful about sticking his nose in there.
He's back in there. Heupel keeps the football, throws, touchdown. Record. There it is, Josh Norman. And that is career touchdown number 36 in the air for Josh Heupel. And the record he breaks is that of his running back coach, Cale Gundy.
36 touchdowns in 15 games. That's a pretty nice ratio.
Tell you what, Cale Gundy was a tremendous quarterback here at Oklahoma, but he had the benefit of producing those 36 touchdowns really over 4 years.
Right.
Heupel's body of work is a season and a quarter. The extra point for Tim Duncan, and the lead 35-14, and more than 74,000 a little bit more comfortable in their seats right now. Josh Heupel has just tossed his 36th career touchdown pass here at Oklahoma. Cale Gundy threw 35. How many attempts did it take him, Dave?
751 attempts to throw 35 touchdown passes.
Shaun White on the return. And now Oklahoma's everywhere. He didn't make the 15-yard line. Lance Donnelly, a true freshman, a tight end, led the charge downfield, number 86. Here's the touchdown again.
Little fake to the guy that's been killing you. Look how it freezes the linebackers. They all go with the run fake, then an easy pitch and catch. I mean, when you get your running game established, play action fake becomes huge. That run fake freezes the defense, and then it becomes an easy game of football. But without that running game, that play fake wouldn't have meant much. But Griffin absolutely froze them in their tracks because he's creased them.
Well, here is where it's not an easy game of football for Rice. When you run the wishbone as your base offense, it's hard to come back from large deficits.
Absolutely.
Evans on the option. Right, and he takes a thump from Steffen. Ball goes out of bounds. Brandon Everidge also there. And that will be the final play of the third quarter.
A quarter owned particularly late by the Oklahoma Sooners. We head off to the final chapter in Norman. Oklahoma 35, Rice 14. 35-14 the count as we begin the fourth quarter. Memorial Stadium, Owen Field, Norman, Oklahoma. Drew Goodman, Dave Lapham, Jim Knox. And Rice is faced with a 2nd and 9 at their own 16. Ben Wolf back under center. And the fullback, Robbie Beck, takes the handoff and takes a couple of licks. True freshman, Robbie Beck. Leading ground gainer coming into the football game with 121 yards, but that's his first carry of the day.
Well, you mentioned it, Drew. You know, Rice behind, offense not conducive to come from behind. Plus, the field position, they start this drive at their own, inside their own 15-yard line. So, he's got a long field to cover with a tough offense to do so.
Wolf, look out from behind, Ramon Richardson. And that'll be 4th down. It's amazing what a motion can do. Oklahoma going through the motions, sluggish for a good portion of this game. Quentin Griffin gave him some life. And now on both sides of the football, they're flying around.
Well, it started with the big play. You know, that was one of the keys for Oklahoma is big play execution, and Griffin busting a run for over 25 yards, you know, close to 40 yards. And that was the story. And the other story is Oklahoma going to the running game. You know, they throw the football, but once they established that ground game, they took control of this thing in the third quarter.
Hale to punt. Thatcher is pushed back to his 30-yard line, then he has to get away from it. Pretty good job by Hale. And that's where Oklahoma will begin, about the 36-yard line. Let's take a look at our sit-go. You know me.
Yes, I do. You, Drew.
That's me. In the 1986 Orange Bowl against Penn State. Named the Sooner that caught a 71-yard touchdown pass that put Oklahoma ahead for good en route to the 85 national championship. And of course,
a good
today,
friend of ours.
Yes, he's a good friend of ours.
Yes.
And the 85 national championship team this weekend being honored. Most of the players are in attendance. We can tell you that this gentleman is working today, so he's not in attendance.
Absolutely. He's got a job today.
That's right. Talk about great players. This guy fits the bill. Heupel hands off to Ronaldo Works. He bounces it and runs over a couple of folks and gets 7 yards. Ronaldo Works, Bobby Stoops and Mark Mangino, the offensive coordinator, compared him to Josh Heupel in his game preparation.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he wants to know exactly tendencies of the defense, and you see him bouncing here. Now watch him lower the shoulder and put the thumb. I mean, he absolutely ran over Gatlin to the point where Gatlin's helmet, he smacked the turf with his helmet. He snapped that head back.
Jamar Mosey also in the backfield. Heupel double clutch, and then a little bit too hot for Mosey. He's a redshirt freshman from Blue Springs, Missouri, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
Well, that touchdown pass that Heupel had for a career record at Oklahoma, he's now thrown a touchdown pass in 15 straight games too. So I mean, he's Mr. Automatic in that category, and things are automatic about him. He'll throw for 200 yards almost every time he steps on the field, and he'll throw a touchdown pass for you about every time he steps on the field.
Usually two touchdown passes in 13 of his 15 starts. That is a 1st down. Curtis Fagan out to midfield. You look at their receivers. Fagan's a sophomore. Savage, who we highlighted in the open, is a sophomore. Mackey is a sophomore. Norman's a junior. Andre Wolfuk, who goes both ways, is a sophomore.
It's a bright future. Plus, now that this has been established, Oklahoma will recruit. They'll be in the picture with all the great throwers and catchers in the country, high school-wise. I mean, it's going to be a chain of them here.
That's a great point, Dave. You're absolutely right. Give it to Works, run it over people again to the 44-yard line. And Oklahoma starting to wear down what had been a pesky Rice defense. Heupel
those 36 touchdown passes breaks the record of that man, Cale Gundy.
Cale Gundy, it took Cale Gundy 751 attempts to throw 35 touchdowns and took Heupel 407 attempts to throw 36. So the touchdown to completion ratio heavily favors Josh Heupel. Different offensive system, though. Ball start. Early up front. It's tough to compare Heupel and Gundy, though. Totally different systems. I mean, Heupel spread.
Snap. Ball start. Offense. 5 yards. Second down.
We asked Josh Heupel yesterday about Cale Gundy. Here's what he had to say.
It'll be something, that we can joke about, more importantly than anything else. Numbers, again, aren't that important to me. As long as we keep winning, then I'll be happy.
Dave, some guys tell you that, and you don't believe it. This guy tells you it, and you believe him.
Oh, yeah, he's, I'll tell you, there's no deviation in his character, I'll tell you that.
He is a team guy through and through. Heupel down the football field to Fagan. Did he catch it?
The officials are looking at each other, and they say, yes, he did get his hands underneath it.
He got it over the linebacker level and dropped it into Fagan, who made a nice adjustment.
Actually, Drew, as I was looking at it from up here, I thought he overthrew his intended receiver, and then all of a sudden I see the guy at the next level that he's going to. I thought he overthrew here. He's getting the ball down the field here. And look at the effort. Nice job getting your hands underneath the ball by Fagan. That's a good scoop right there. Good hooks.
First down at the 27-yard line. Works continues in the game at running back. Blitz coming, and Heupel gets it away.
Yeah, he got hit just as he tried to release that football. The blitz came right up the middle from Joe Bob Thompson. Joe Bob really hit on Heupel.
Now, you know where Joe Bob's from.
I love the double first name.
You got it.
Joe Bob.
He's from Dangerfield, Texas. You knew he had to be a Texan.
Yeah, I didn't think he grew up around me in Boston.
Right.
There's no way. I don't know any Joe Bobs.
Not too many Joe Bobs in Cambridge.
No Joe Bobs, no Billy Bobs. None of those kind of guys up in the Boston area.
Second down and 10. Here's Works with Mosey in front, and flying through there's Pittman. That's a nice tackle. Rashard Pittman inside out tackles Works. It'll be third down.
You can see that Works has got some special quality to him, and the thing that you like is a kid that has got all that ability, wants to be good, like we were talking about. Before his first game, going over every single assignment with the coaching staff to make sure that he was on the right page. I mean, that's a kid that wants to do good. He's got the mindset.
He's from Washington High School in Tulsa. He's also a very good student.
Look, center got the snap count. Everybody moved. That's a guy, the kid, and he's a little bit frustrated right there. He's in the squat position. He said, "Oh man, snapped it, but I should have snapped it on 2. I was thinking it was 3, Mr. Burcham."
Offense, 5 yards, replay third down.
Center and quarterback. Those are the two guys that can't forget the snap count. And whenever Burcham said,
yeah, I'm worried Bubba might put himself through some wind sprints right here.
He's tough on himself. He's at the line of scrimmage saying, I have to set the protections. I have to identify the defense and remember the snap count. I mean, what do you want from me? That's great. That's overload. I cramped. I'm sorry.
Third down and 15. I guess the conversation went something like that. Oklahoma needs the 16-yard line. Heupel's in trouble, and he's going to be sacked for the second time today. Clint Johnson got him.
Boy, that is a rarity. As we talked about earlier in the game, Drew, he'd only been sacked once in the first 2 games. Now it's a third sack of the day, and you know what? The last 14 games coming into this one, he'd only been sacked 14 times, once a game, and to get hit as much as he has today, you got to give Rice credit. They got a nice little game plan.
You know what, Dave? They've done a lot of good things today.
They have.
But in terms of talent matchup, it's tough. And look at this. With the wind at his back, they're going to allow Tim Duncan to try a 57-yard field goal.
Oh, he's got plenty of distance.
The direction was the problem. Duncan off the mark from 57, 35-14 Sooners. 2:51 left in the fourth quarter. 35-14 Oklahoma. Let's revisit our Sitco You Know Me. 86 Orange Bowl, 71-yard touchdown pass. Who was the receiver?
Oh, Nelly.
Oh, Nelly. Well, a different Keith Jackson.
Oh, that's right.
The Keith Jackson who went on to star in the National Football League for the better part of a decade, and a friend of ours now living down in Little Rock, Arkansas, doing Arkansas football on radio.
Yes, he is, and I'll tell you, he was a matchup nightmare in the National Football League. As big as he was, to be able to run like that, oh, nightmare.
Wolf puts it on the ground, and now he is on the ground.
That's the 11th time that Rice has put the ball on the turf. 11 fumbles. They haven't lost them all. They only lost 7 or 8 of them, but that's too many times putting it on the turf. Not today. I'm talking about for the season.
You're going to do that some, running the triple option. Remember Nebraska last year, as good as they were, they fumbled it quite a bit.
They did. They led the nation.
But they can make up for their mistakes. The margin of error when you're at Rice University is nil.
Yeah, it's very small. That's a great point.
Wolf running for his life. It's hard to get wide against Oklahoma. They run so well. That's Brandon Everidge, a redshirt freshman, flying up from the secondary in his free safety spot.
After a play like that, Everidge deserves a beverage when he gets to the sideline, and I'll tell you, he's long. You know, when you look at Oklahoma, they're like a bunch of racehorses, you know? I mean, they can all fly, but they got long legs, long arms. They look like thoroughbreds out there. They just have a bunch of tremendous-looking athletes.
You know, you said this earlier, even during the leaner years in the 90s, they still had athletes in this program.
No doubt.
Complete. Is it enough for a first down? Nice move by Okoronkwo. Lunging toward the sticks. They needed 13 yards, and I think he got exactly 13.
Yeah, he's saying he got it. He got up signaling first down, but he doesn't have that striped jersey on. They're gonna measure. They're gonna bring the chains from all the way across the other side of the field. But I tell you, it was a nice route run by Okoronkwo, or something to that effect. Out of pocket, change the launch point for Wolf, give him time to throw, and boy, he throws it accurately. Now he rolls to his left. As a right-handed quarterback, you have to get your feet set, turn your shoulders square to the line of scrimmage so you can deliver it accurately, and he did all that. Oh, that's what, a link or so?
That was
made it.
First down by a link. You were absolutely right. So Rice holds on to the football.
Skosh.
We were talking about the lean years of the 90s. How good were the Sooners in the 80s? Well, one way that you can define it is how they did with #1 picks. 10 #1s in the 80s, just 1 in the 90s. That was Cedric Jones by the Giants, 5th selection overall, who hasn't really panned out yet. Well, 61 total picks. That's more than 6 guys a year.
I mean, when you look at #1 picks, first-round picks, they were high first-round picks. I mean, they had the first pick in the draft, the second pick in the draft. They had a bunch of top 10 picks.
Ball's on the ground. It's loose. Kalmus flies in there. Rocky Kalmus falls on it.
Wow. Second time in one series, center quarterback exchange problems. Kenny Hatfield, he's going to pop a cork. I'll tell you, his BP is about 1,000 over 800 right now. You don't, that's
not healthy.
No, it's not. That's not a good deal. And he's get it straightened out. He's saying, bring my center and my quarterback together, get it straightened out. It happened twice in the same drive. And the simplest, you have to start every play with a clean exchange, and 2 snaps in this series were not clean. That will drive a coach crazy. That will give Kenny Hatfield more gray hair than he has, or he'll start losing hair. He is not the least bit pleased about the whole scenario.
The BP's gone up from 100 over 1,000 over 800.
Oh, yeah.
Quentin Griffin still going. He gets 4 yards. Antoine Shell and our friend Joe Bob Thompson combine on the tackle as we approach the 8-minute mark in the fourth quarter. Well, how good are the Oklahoma Sooners? They've played teams, to be honest with you, that they have far more talent than.
Right, and you look at this situation today. Oklahoma did not bring their A game, yet they're still up by 21. So it's a case of their X's being bigger, stronger, faster than Rice's O's. You know, so until they get a closer matchup athletically, it's going to be tough to determine.
Ronaldo Works takes his turn. He'll get a couple of yards. Closed down by Lance Redmond. Rice is a very interesting university, one of the finest academic institutions, as most of you are aware, in the country. Yet I was surprised by this. Do you know what their enrollment is, Dave?
Yeah, you were talking about that. The half, it's minuscule, like less than 3,000 kids.
Less than 3,000 kids go to Rice University. I thought it was a bigger school than that.
I thought, when you asked me, I thought it'd be like 12, 15,000. Way off.
But they play Division I sports, and they've been very competitive. Out of the backfield, good throw to Mackey. He could take it the distance inside the 10 to the 8-yard line.
Oh, boy, what a block on the sideline down the field by the receiver, Oklahoma. I mean, it's just a detonation on the sideline. Heupel with a little misdirection. He has a run-pass option and decides basically to get the ball down. Watch this block. Watch what happens on the sideline here. Whoop! That's a peel back. See ya. I mean, that's an ear hole shot. When the first thing that hits the football field is the side of your head, you know you were blindsided. And when that's shown to the teammates, they're going to love Donnelly. They're going to say, Donnelly, you made the play.
Another one of those true freshmen that Bob Stoops has been raving about. Inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Joe Bob Thompson tackles Ronaldo Works. Let's look at that hit, real speed.
Here it comes. That's open up a new can of defensive backs right there, because that one's stunned. Man, that's a stun gun shot. You know, all the while he's running, he said, oh, I got one. He didn't know I'm coming. Ba-boom.
You know what? He could have 3 touchdown catches today, and the play he'd remember longest is that hit. Works, trying to do it on his own. Not a bad job. Pretty fancy 3-yard gain.
Hey, boy, he's got the ability to give it to you and take it away quickly. He's got the quick feet.
Final 2 options for Works. Notre Dame and Oklahoma. And he decides to stay close to home.
I mean, you talk about change of direction. That's because look how long his legs are. You know, usually a guy with short legs, you can see the jackhammer action, but to have a guy with his legs as long as he has to be able to change the direction that quickly is outstanding.
3rd down and 5. Heupel in the flat to Works.
Wow.
Cuts back, beautiful move, touchdown.
Woo. And sailing out into space went John White.
His 5th career touchdown already, and his career's not 3 games old yet.
Boy, and Heupel gets his 2nd touchdown pass of the day, so chalk up another 2-touchdown day for Heupel.
Now 14 out of 15 games with a couple of touchdown tosses.
And that was worse because there were 2 Rice defenders that could have made a play inside the 5-yard line. He made them both miss.
Duncan splits them 42-14. Oklahoma now running away from the Rice Owls.
Big 12 football has been brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, this is the taste. By Buick and your local Buick dealers. Isn't it time for a real car? By Bank of America, the official bank of the Big 12 Conference. And by Southwestern Bell, the official telecommunications company of the Big 12.
Back on campus at the University of Oklahoma in Norman. One of Dave's favorite actors, Jimmy Stewart. Well, a different Jimmy Stewart now kicking off for Oklahoma. 42-14 the count. The Sooners.
Oh, wow.
Roll, and now that's got to come out for Sadler. Not far, 5-yard line. And that epitomizes how the second half is gone for the Rice Owls.
Well, here's the touchdown, the last touchdown pass from Heupel. Bertram takes one linebacker, Thompson. The other one comes clean, Pittman. So Heupel gets rid of it in recognition. Then, oh, man, does Works make White miss. Tremendous cut after the catch of the football. Heupel knows that Pittman's unblocked. He's going to get it to Works, and Works White. I mean, Works him big on the edge. See ya. Touchdown.
Well, this conference has always been known for their running backs, and you can can see that Ronaldo Works is going to make a lot of noise over the next few years, and there's another true freshman up in Boulder, Colorado that's going to make a lot of noise, and they have similar body types, Marcus Houston and Ronaldo Works.
Long arms, long legs, you know, they're just and we talked about Works' ability to catch. You know, when a receiver, if it's a back or a wideout, catches the football and it makes no sound, you know, it's almost like a vacuum. Soft hands given with the football. That's what Works has got. You know, when they catch it, you can't even hear the leather hitting the flesh. That's when you get soft hands, and that's what Works has got going for
him. Wolf with Rice backed up, gives to the fullback, and Tyler runs it out to about the 9-yard line before being sent back the other direction. Well, there's some great talent in the house today. We showed you the Boz a couple of times. How about this guy?
Oh, there's a ring. There's a championship, world championship with the Dallas Cowboys. Tony Casillas, second pick in the entire draft, the Atlanta Falcons, and finished his career with Dallas. That's what I'm talking about. You know, you had Billy Sims, Casillas, Bosworth. I mean, these guys were the top picks in the draft, not just #1 picks. I mean, top 5 guys. Ricky Dixon with the Bengals was a top 5 pick. Talent extraordinaire in the 80s.
Yeah, you played with Ricky Dixon. Here's a miscommunication. You have to believe this one's on Wolf. Everybody went right. Wolf was running the option to the left, and a flag comes in as Dan Cody, true freshman, throws him down.
He didn't get up in his face mask, did he? Yeah, he did. Cody got up in the headgear on the tackle, unfortunately. This young man is a true freshman, and he is a football player, Dan Cody. Here he comes. Take a look. Contains the quarterback. Oh, it's up in the headgear. Just for a fraction of a second. Unfortunate. I might have let that one go because he didn't tug on it. But you don't need to get the hands up high. But this kid, I mean, he is an athlete. 6'4", 250 pounds. And getting big. Look, he's 250. He looks skinny. He can weigh 280, 290 easily. And with that body type, he's got his range.
He was a high school tight end and played linebacker in Ada, Oklahoma. Now they have him in a three-point stance. But when you see a guy who played linebacker in high school and a three-point, you know you have an athlete.
Absolutely.
Rice on a misdirection. That'll be a first down for Sean White.
You know, Cody, number 80 in the red once again. You know, there's a guy in the National Football League by the name of Ted Hendricks. Look at Cody. Look at how long he is. And he's got natural strength because of leverage. I mean, he can keep you away from his body because of those long arms. He locks out. You can't get near his body. That's what Ted Hendricks did, the Mad Stork, at 6'8". He wasn't muscle mania, but he had tremendous leverage. Cody has got that type of angle to him. He can be something.
Guys with bright futures. Wolf off to Sadler, and there's Everidge again with a bright future. He's a redshirt freshman. Everywhere you look, guys making plays, underclassmen for the University of Oklahoma. One of the things we talked to Bob Stoops about yesterday, his philosophy of throwing the football. He says, you know what? My philosophy is scoring points. Right. He said, the defense will dictate what we do. And Rice took away some of the throwing lanes early in the third quarter, and Oklahoma ran it.
And I'll tell you, when you have a two-way go like that, you have the ability to run it when you need to or throw it when you want to. That's huge.
Wolf and Sadler separated from the football. There's Everidge. Back up free safety all over the place.
Everidge is like a heat-seeking missile out there. He's supporting the run on the pitch. He's disengaging receivers from the football. This ball is on target, on the money, but Everidge, he's just faster than the football. I mean, he got there and timed it perfectly. I mean, his contact was simultaneous to the arrival of the pigskin.
3:15 to go in the football game. 3rd and 9, 42-14 Oklahoma. They get a screen set up. White with blockers in front. Well, he took a shot.
Everidge again.
And he's still down. He got the first down, but Everidge put a lick on Sean White.
And he's grabbing that, looks like his right knee a little bit. Everidge has been hitting people low. I mean, he's not only been striking them, but he's been striking them low.
Pretty good for a kid who came as a quarterback.
Yeah.
Brandon Everidge was a high school quarterback.
Jeez,
pretty physical QB.
He's putting his helmet across the bow, and when he delivers the hit, it's serious. Screen pass, lineman out in front. Watch Everidge though as he hurdles. Boom! There's a shot. Right. I mean that wasn't to the knee. That was right to the hip, right where he bends. That's a hip pointer waiting to happen right there. Here comes Everidge. Whoop! And he struggled. Just absolutely. I don't know. His rib. It might have taken the wind out. It was just a rocket shot.
That was a TKO.
Yeah.
He staggered down. Wolf. Everidge in coverage. And Everidge came up with the football.
Why not? It's his series.
It is his series. Brandon Everidge, after a couple of big thumps, comes up with a pick. Okoronkwo is the intended receiver.
Everidge says, you know what? I'm a hitter, but the thing I like to do best is get my hands on the football. So he took it away. Well, what a defensive sequence for number 7 in the red.
2:52 left in Norman. The Sooners on a roll. (42-14) the score into the football game for Oklahoma. The backup quarterback, a transfer from Georgia, Nate Hibble. He's a sophomore, and he's big, 6'3", and close to 220 pounds, and he is the heir apparent.
He looks skinny too. I mean, he can be a Bledsoe type. Pack on some weight.
And he hands it off to Ronaldo Works, and Brandon Green picks him up and drops him. Let's revisit our keys to the game. First for the Rice Owls, Dave.
Well, they wanted to control the clock. They did that okay. They have about a 5 or 6 minute time possession advantage. No short fields. That hurt them. No margin for error. Well, they're +1, but not good enough. That's why they're down to the extent that they're down. Didn't take advantage of opportunities when presented as well. That was the biggest reason the deficit is as it is.
If you're joining us late, Rice scored a touchdown in the third quarter, made it 21-14. Pretty late in the third quarter, but then Oklahoma took over. Hibble lobs it in there nicely to the freshman Lance Donnelly. Nice little touch on that football from Nate Hibble.
Nice feathery touch. Hibble stands tall in that pocket. I mean, it's hard to impede his vision. You know, he stands and looks. He basically looks like a power forward. His head's up there. I mean, he can see down that football field. It's no problem picking up the tight end over the linebackers with his.
Like Heupel, his father's a football coach. In fact, a high school football coach. Nate played for his dad back in Georgia.
Heupel and Hibble.
Heupel and Hibble.
Like a law firm.
Works. Where are my friends?
Yeah.
The Oklahoma keys to the game. Let's see how they grade out.
Well, OU wanted to get an early lead. They got that done. Sure tackling in space. Yeah, look at what Everidge has been doing. I mean, they got that done pretty much. Big play factor. They've had a few plays highlighted by Griffin of over 25 yards. Now, they had 13 on the season coming in. They've added to that today. So I'd say that Oklahoma probably handled their keys a little bit better.
We saw Texas a couple of weeks ago, and Texas has a ton of great athletes. Oklahoma runs as well as perhaps any team we've seen so far this year, collectively. Here's Works. Oh, look at this run.
Wow.
Ronaldo Works running left, running right, and making his way down the field to the 33-yard line.
Nice block down the field by Steenhoek, Drew. Steenhoek did a good job at the wide receiver position. Works makes a miss. Works changes direction. Then watch down the football field as Steenhoek gets involved right here. That's excellent. Sustaining your block down the field on the perimeter, on the edge as a wide receiver. Nice job.
Works had a 75-yard run for a touchdown 2 weeks ago against Arkansas State. Big guy who can make you miss. Out of the eye, he'll get to about the 31-yard line. Let's take a look at our Dr. Pepper player of the game. Quentin Griffin, 117 yards on 14 carries and 3 touchdowns.
Well, I'll tell you, that's a heck of an effort. And he was the big reason. He got the ball rolling in the second half for Oklahoma. They decided to establish that ground game, and he got it done. Mr. Griffin, hats off to you.
That'll be the final snap, the final score, 42-14, Oklahoma over Rice. Plan to join us next Saturday, 12:30 in the East, 9:38 out West. Texas A&M and Texas Tech from College Station. For Dave Lapham and Jim Knox, I'm Drew Goodman saying so long from Norman. Talk to you next week.